I sit here in this podcast with the biggest critic in the world.
That's right. Big dick critic.
Big dick critic.
That's what they're going to call me.
They're
going to call me the big dick critic.
BDC?
BDC.
No, yeah, BDC.
BDC.
You know, you're gonna, so years
Notorious
from now,
BDC.
Years from now, we're going to be at some convention, and
they're
some
gonna be
random
like,
guy's going to come
critic.
by and go, he's going to nail boy and go, "What up, BDC?" And
I'm going to be like, and I'm going to fist bump him.
"That's the guy that's got the plan right
I'm going to fist bump him and be like, he knew. He's old school.
Favorite movie of 2017 so far? Go.
I haven't watched a single movie in 2017.
Can't ask you.
I didn't even watch the last Star Wars that came out. That's how bad I am.
Hey, you know speaking of rolling right into our movie talk, did you know the new trailer for the Star Wars The Last Jedi came out?
Oh yeah, I did. I did see that.
Have you seen it? Yeah.
I saw it. Mark Hamill's like fucking that chick.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he's fucking her. He's like, you're gonna be the ass Jedi.
The ass Jedi.
The ass Jedi.
I don't know if we could work that one.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see one where Mark Hamill was doing anything to anybody except saying
she was like, "Oh, your beard tickles."
He was saying that
God.
the Jedi need to die. Well, or he said they need to leave or go or something.
He said the Jedi need to end.
Yeah, the Jedi need to end.
Yeah, that means that he's gonna fuck the Jedi to death.
Mm-hmm.
Darth fucking Skywalker.
Adam, being the resident Star Wars fanboy and probably a 7,200 mile span, did you like The Force Awakens?
7,200 miles would be the entire United States.
Sure, that's what I was going for.
It'd be three times the distance of the entire United States.
Your influence spreads wide
across the ocean. Most live its ocean.
You think there are people out there like in the Navy out on ships who like Star Wars? I mean,
no, I guess so.
You got to override them too.
Yeah. Now, what was the question?
Did you like The Force Awakens?
Did I like The Force? Yeah, I did.
Give us a barometer for the first 6 movies, period.
The first 6 movies,
or
period?
You can tell us your history of the Star Wars, period, so people get a good gauge of what type of Star Wars fan you are.
Let's go with because I mean, you've got different kinds of Star Wars fans. You got ones that swear by the original trilogy.
Uh-huh.
Right. And I understand why they swear by the original trilogy. Okay. The biggest issue, however, is that, they don't, you got different types of Star Wars fans. You got people who only watch the original trilogy and that's their bag, baby.
Yeah.
And then you've got the people who watched the original trilogy and then proceeded to read all the fucking books and extended universe shit out to fucking high heaven.
They're well versed. They know their shit.
I mean, there was 20 years of content before episode 1 came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we are right now 40-something years with this shit.
Yep. So now you're looking at the prequels came into existence, and now you've got other TV shows, and I mean, we aren't even talking about fucking like little spin-off movies like the one with the Quaker oatmeal guy. I can't remember what the guy's name. Wilford Brimley. I know who Wilford Brimley is. I can't remember who the.
I'm sorry.
What the entire
Quaker oatmeal guy. Why?
It is the diabetes guy.
Okay, let me shit on myself before the internet does. The Quaker oatmeal guy didn't have a beard or a mustache, correct?
No. Not the Quaker oatmeal guy. Like he was fucking
like the brand,
like the guy on the fucking logo.
Yeah,
the Quaker oatmeal guy is fucking Wilford Brimley. He used to do Quaker oatmeal commercials.
Oh, okay. So I'm not completely wrong. Okay.
You aren't. The Quaker dude on the fucking label is not Wilford Brimley.
Right.
But he did used to advertise Quaker oatmeal.
Yeah.
Which is like the shittiest fucking oatmeal you can buy.
What?
It is.
Are you shitting on
like
fucking
the standard Quaker oatmeal, the one that comes in a big tube? It's like flavorless. You know what I'm talking about?
It's oatmeal, Adam.
It's just fucking like oatmeal with nothing in it.
Okay.
They started making to tell you the thing is you don't fucking pick my brain then, because this is where we're going. We're down the rabbit hole on oatmeal now.
Name your favorite oatmeal brand then. Go.
Quaker oatmeal.
You just said.
Shit, because you didn't let me finish. You notice they don't sell the big tubes, or at least I haven't noticed them selling the big fucking cylinders of fucking plain oatmeal anymore.
What does the packaging matter?
Well, because they started putting flavors in it and selling like variety packs and stuff like that. They got out of that because it was shit.
You don't know this because you don't work out hardcore like I do.
Oh man.
But when
you just sometimes you slather your body with oatmeal.
Yeah. One of the
It's like you got chicken pox.
I'm saying one before the fucking citizens of the world get down my neck about this. One of a staple meal that people who work out like to eat is oatmeal, but they do not get it with flavor. They get it plain, because anything you add to it, the fruit, the sugar, the cinnamon, whatever, they want it pure fucking oatmeal. You just have to eat pure. Now
that's disgusting.
Exactly. To me, that's the equivalent of saying, well, I like unsweet tea, full stop. Don't add your own sugar. At least
tea is like, there's different types of tea.
Bitter, but it's bitter.
But I mean, it's like coffee. It's like there's different types. You can add a flavor to the standard without adding sugar or extra stuff.
You know, it'll tell a lot about a man how you like your coffee. Do you like your coffee just flat black?
I like my coffee in a multitude of ways. I'll take any type of coffee I can get.
You take flat,
I'll drink fucking coffee. Flat coffee. I'll drink fucking cold coffee. I'll drink fucking mocha. I do not fucking discriminate.
What about
it's all pink in the middle, baby.
Okay. Glossing over that. What about grits? How do you like your grits?
In the trash.
You don't eat grits at all?
Not even a little bit.
Somebody told you, hey, fuck you, BDC, you gotta eat these grits. And you can decorate them any way you want to.
I would decorate them with his face.
These are things this is the point I'm getting at, though. You got oatmeal, you got grits, you got coffee, some standard breakfast fare. And there are people that love to have these just flat, no flavoring, no sugar, no fruit, no nothing. I'm not that guy. If I have grits, I need to have butter, and yeah, well, fuck you. I'm from the north. I like having sugar in my grits because plain grits are fucking disgusting. When I have coffee, I like to put sugar and maybe some type of flavor.
Some people put cheese. My dad used to put cheese in his grits.
If I put tea, I'll take sugar with it.
They learn not to hand me a bowl of grits because I'll waste the shit out of them grits.
Oatmeal, gotta have something in it.
I'll wait until they emulsify into a solid object before I leave the table.
What's your favorite flavoring to go into oatmeal?
My favorite brown sugar.
By the way, let's get this shit out of the way.
Brown sugar.
Let's get this shit out of the way real quick while we tangent onward for life. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the end of time. I'm Michael.
And I'm Adam. Oh, sorry.
So anyway, oatmeal flavor, go.
How do we get from Star Wars to oatmeal?
It doesn't matter.
Jesus Christ.
It doesn't matter.
The segues have occurred.
We will backtrack. This is Dark Souls. We will go back to previous areas.
Let's see.
And I know that the morning or the time you eat it may vary, so there may be, just give us
my favorite flavor.
Do you like?
I fucking love the maple and brown sugar standard.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the apple.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, this is kind of a sentimental thing, but back in the day, they used to make this kind of oatmeal that had little fucking gummies in it.
What?
Okay, and they were all hidden. You remember it. It's fucking coming out.
Oh my God.
It's coming out. Alright? Now, you would pour the water in, and they were like hidden up until you poured the water in, and then it would like remove the coating off the fucking gummies, and they'd magically appear when you stirred it.
Wow.
Right?
I forgot all about that.
That reminded me of a very turbulent point in my life where my grandmother used to give me that. Oh man, and those were good. I remember that being like the best of that. It probably tastes like straight ass. Okay?
But
it probably tastes like emulsified fucking ass.
But tell a kid
That's
that.
Twice I've said emulsified now,
You
3
did.
times.
Now, yep.
That's
your word.
That's my word for the cast. Emulsified cast.
Hey,
anyway.
is emulsified in your wheelhouse of vocabulary?
It is now. So,
we just jack each other off right here.
Yeah, just
So maple brown sugar, apple, and
that's it. Whatever
bears.
weird gummy bear fucking flavor that was. I don't even remember what the flavor was.
What I like, and
apple cinnamon or something.
I test these out. I've tested them out before when I get like the variety pack. Is it has the peaches in it as well. It has the strawberry in it as well.
Anything.
It has the grape or whatever.
Oh God.
The 3 that I usually revolve around is the maple sugar and the apple and the strawberry. But here's where I started doing it different. When I make my oatmeal in the morning, I usually use only 2 packs. I'll take 2 and mix them. I'll take brown sugar and apple, mix them together. I'll take strawberry and apple
sugar
and mix them together.
And
it's not like blow your mind, oh shit, tech for breakfast shit. But
so you basically just make suicide oatmeal.
yeah, and it's good.
You're fucking
Now,
loon, man. You're dangerous. You're dangerous to the oatmeal fucking community.
I'm dangerous to myself because of my laziness. Because if I was any type of man that could get off his lazy ass and do something with his life, I would just go get actual fucking fruit, like actual strawberries. And I've never did that to myself. I've never had like genuine.
I have had it because, believe it or not, this is where that fucking hatred for plain oatmeal came from. My family decided they were going to cut corners and buy that and buy the big cylinder and then fucking add the brown sugar and add the whatever.
Didn't work.
No, sir.
See, I would think that even if I went out and got strawberries and cut them up into chunks and put it in it, I feel I would still have to put sugar in it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact is, it's like a flavored sweetened powder. You know, they've ground everything up real fine, so it coats every flake. Mm-hmm. And unless you can manage to, pull off that fucking chef miracle right there, you're not going to be able to replicate that. You'd have to finally puree the apples.
Yep.
And you see pictures of big whole fucking pieces of apple in there. Those aren't what's providing the flavor.
No.
You gotta make sure that shit powders every fucking little flake of oatmeal.
Cooking with Adam.
Yep. So, I mean, and you're not likely to succeed at that unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I remember another side story. Did you ever get chickenpox as a kid?
I've never had that stuff, no.
You poor bastard. Well, this will help you if you ever get it. You know what the cure for chickenpox is, or one of the relief things for chickenpox is? Mm-mm. Fill a bathtub up with warm water, sit in it, mix in oatmeal.
Wow, that's a shit.
No shit. No, they used it when I was fucking however old I was when I got chickenpox. They literally fucking gave me an entire like oatmeal, the whole cylinder of oatmeal, just
damn
full,
and it worked.
Yeah. It makes the itching stop. Cause you will scar yourself itching fucking chickenpox.
Yeah.
And I do have like 1 or 2 scars from chickenpox, but.
On your penis?
Yep, they're on my penis. Mm-hmm. They provide extra.
One is like a crater.
They're actually my secret to why I fucking, pleasure the girl so well. That rub. That rub gets it on the way in. It's just, it stimulates.
Hey baby, I got craters in my dick.
Yep, they call me crater dick.
Oh
level. Yeah, crater dick.
Oh God. So, oatmeal is, to tell you the truth, I like the off-brand oatmeals now just because they're cheaper. But
oatmeal's fucking oatmeal, dude.
Yeah, oatmeal's oatmeal. So,
yeah.
So anyways,
it's like milk.
Star Wars.
Back to Star.
Oh, with milk? I think I've tried that one time. I've tried
oat
another
milk.
Tangent. Do you remember this? They still have this to this day because I seen it in Walmart when we just went shopping. Did you ever have grape nuts?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still eat grape nuts.
God, my mom and dad had grape nuts when I was a kid, and that shit was fucking delicious.
Yeah.
But the problem for me was my foods. I like a lot of my foods to be chewy. Like when I have cereal, I don't like to pour milk in straight and just start crunching. I like it when it sops the milk up just a little bit. Mm-hmm. You could set fucking milk in them grape nuts for 40 minutes, and they're like, nah, bruh, get these rocks in your mouth because you chewing crunch.
That thing about...
So, hold on. So I heard this, I'm in my 20s when I heard this. So like, bruh, did you never not have that with milk? Of course I had it with milk. And it's like, no. Hold on. Did you ever have it with warm milk? No. Well, fuck no. What am I going to put warm milk in something? Try that shit out. And I tried that one time. And that's the fucking secret. You gotta heat the damn milk up. And then the grape nuts just give way. And it's better that way.
Well,
I've never tried milk in my oatmeal.
If you leave the milk in the grape nuts, they will eventually make it where you don't have any milk in the bowl.
Yeah.
They will absorb all the fucking milk in the bowl.
Like,
and it's no longer milk and cereal. It's like a paste.
It's like a paste. Yeah. It's kind of like oatmeal in a way.
Yeah.
But I've never tried oatmeal with milk before. Maybe I'll try that sometime.
Oatmeal with milk? Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
Oh, well, you said oatmeal with milk. Like, here's the thing. I'm like, I'll fucking try it, sure.
No. I'm saying, fuck it. Oh, God.
I'm gonna tell you something.
You should do that. You should do that and report back to me on how that went.
You don't know. Maybe you just unwittingly discovered a new way to eat oatmeal.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I will tell you right now, Adam, in my life, when I was a kid, I was very particular of how I ate things, and I was very like, oh, I don't eat this shit. The way I am now, because you and I both have been outside of this country. We've been to other places in the world, not just to other states. We've had other cultures of food.
Yeah.
I will tell you now, as disgusting as some things sounds, I will at least try something one time, at least once. That way I can go.
I can shove anything in my mouth and begin chewing before the flavor hits.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how disgusting it is.
Yeah.
It could be a dog turd. I'd know it was coming. But I'd be like, oh God, why?
But the more that it applies here to the States is I hear shit. I didn't know about putting fucking ranch dressing on my pizza until I was like 25 years old.
What?
Yeah. Well, when I grew up in my household, my father's favorite thing to do was to have, usually Domino's or Papa John's Supreme Pizza. That's how I got my love for it. The kind that's got everything on it.
Uh-huh.
And it was mandatory. My mom had to have either, or we got it from them, is Catalina or French dressing.
Yeah.
That was all I ever knew. Because back in the day, maybe, I don't know if they just had it or I didn't pay attention because I wasn't the one buying the pizza. I didn't know about like fucking garlic butter and, all these weird things.
Yeah.
And yeah, somebody was just like, hey man, you ever just take like the fucking meat lovers and just dip some ranch in? I'm like, oh, ranch? No way. And I try that shit out. Shit. Woo. Life changed. So now when people say,
mouthwater a little bit.
yeah, when people say today, shit like, oh man, take fucking,
rotten egg and mix it with oatmeal.
sure.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody tries to give me new food tech, I just lock it away. If I'm in a grocery store and I see these two things, I'll try them out, see what it's like. Cause man, I hear some shit and I'm like, there's no fucking way that I'm putting sauerkraut in my spaghetti and then, oh, it's fucking like a Portuguese recipe. You didn't know that shit? Fucking makes your dick hard, don't it? No, not really, but it tastes pretty good.
Damn.
So
you just shoot him down like that.
I mean, look, if you have food so good it makes your dick hard and you didn't have Viagra put in it, but more props to you. I haven't had boner-inducing food that I know of, and I've had some pretty delicious food.
Well, I know, like, what was this shit called? Like, Italian sausage. Mm-hmm. You put that in spaghetti and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, I've had some weird spaghetti recipes. Mm-hmm. I've had spaghetti squash. You ever seen that? Mm-hmm. Where they make the fucking spaghetti noodles out of squash and shit?
Heard.
It's not bad. Mm-hmm. It's not bad.
I remember when I was a kid and one of my next door neighbors made
Foodcast.
Yes. I like Italian food all around. You know, I'm a big fan of pastas and tomato sauce and tomatoes and meat together in general.
That's what she said.
Neighbor brought me over to the house one day, said, I'm gonna make you, all I heard was lasagna. And this wasn't the neighbor that I borrowed games from. This was just a neighbor.
Yeah.
She was just a nice lady. She's like, I'm just going to make some lasagna. I'm going to give you half of it and take it home.
Here's some sleeping pills.
And I'm looking at the counter on what she's like cutting up and I'm like, ma'am, are you making a salad? She's like, no. I was like, what do you have this eggplant stuff? She's like, baby, I'm making you eggplant lasagna. And I was like, again, being that stupid kid, I was like, my face was contorted and I was just flopping on the floor, just throwing a tantrum, just, She's like, just wait. Just let me cook it and just taste a bite. And she had to damn near force me to take that bite. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean, but I thought just make a lasagna. And I tried it. And I think I did have a boner then. I think I lied. I think that's when I had my first food boner.
That's because she was not the old lady you think she was.
Oh, yeah.
She wasn't interested in you the way you thought she was.
No, yeah.
Yeah, there was more in that lasagna. You probably just blacked it out.
No, eggplant lasagna.
She's like, now just take that. You just woke up and she's like, now just take the rest back to your mom and dad. And you're like, oh, I remember it was kind of okay.
Eggplant lasagna.
You were raped.
Good. This is not the rape. This is not the rape cast.
You were raped.
This is not the rape cast, Adam. So let's see if we can roll this back. So
we got to go from rape lasagna back to what?
Back to right where. Now, what is the next topic that we could go back to from rape lasagna? Star Wars. All right. So there are people there. You said there are ones. I'm trying to help you remember your memory.
All right. You have different people. You have people that only watch the original movies and then like hated everything else. You have people that watch the original movies and then they read the books. They hate everything else. You have people that just accept everything. Like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and I mean, there's probably 5 or 6 different combinations of that I haven't mentioned, but
yeah. Because the Star Wars verse is a wide fucking spectrum.
Yeah,
of people.
And depending on what you chose, well, the thing is Disney did a good thing with Star Wars, and whether or not you agreed with it or not, it's a good thing for Star Wars.
Yeah.
The brand. And they deleted the extended universe. Mm-hmm. They put like a tribunal together to review content, because the extended universe, while it was a rich tapestry of bullshit, there were a lot of things in there that conflicted with each other.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not going to go into all the particulars because there's about 20 fucking thousand goddamn things, but anytime they made a movie or anything. They would step on something's goddamn fucking toes. Okay, it needed to be reeled in and categorized and fucking made into because I mean it conflicted with itself, not just the new content.
Yeah.
Okay, so they came up with the tribunal of fucking nerds that sits around and goes, no, you can't do that because on Alderaan 7 back in this other thing, there was this guy who was taking a shit and they actually pulled a handle like in a downward motion to take a shit, so all the toilets in the universe are like that. And so now there's some dumb fuck that knows this thing and won't let it go into the future movies.
Right.
Without, and then they'll try to keep the continuity. As best they can.
Yeah.
But that's good. That's a good thing for Star Wars.
Yeah.
It means that we had to delete a lot of good shit. But it also means that we get to retell / see some good shit.
Plus it adds more solidarity.
Because it took so long to get to episode 7, we're not going to get to see all the cool stuff that Luke Skywalker did.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I mean, they may end up doing it like they're doing it with Han Solo, with young Han Solo, like, look at me, I'm going around fucking shit up.
Yeah.
But it out it.
Yeah.
Because it's a mainline story. The cool thing about it is we're going to get to see a lot more Star Wars now. Yeah. There's going to be a Star Wars movie coming out damn near every year. And that's a good thing. If you like Star Wars, if you like Star Wars, you can eat it like popcorn. And there's a million different stories that could come out of that universe.
Oh, yeah.
And the universe isn't just in the current timeline. There's a future timeline. There's a past timeline. There's anything and everything you can think of. If you don't have to go alternate universe in Star Wars because you just go back far enough in time and you'll find the point you want.
Oh, yeah.
You want a galaxy ruled by the Sith, you can take the current one, you can take the one before that, or the one before that, or the one before that, or the one before that. So you're looking at all these different possibilities. It's pretty cool.
Where do you sit in all this?
I'm one of those, I take everything, guys. I'm sitting here, I thought it was bad. When I first heard that they were getting rid of the extended universe, I was like, oh shit, here it comes.
Yeah, that's an understandable knee-jerk reaction. That's somebody saying all the extra lore when they give you, the movies have given you like a 0.5%, but the extended lore has given you the other 99.5. Oh Lord.
Well, I mean, this also means that there's a quality assurance process where they go through and they say, okay, well, this new fucking game, this new tabletop game is coming out and it's going to meet the standards of the new Star Wars. And it's going to not give bullshit information. It's not going to give, it's the guys who are writing this aren't going to come up with their own fucking little way for this thing to work. No, they're going to go with the canon way this works.
Right.
Does that make sense? So they don't get to you don't have 200 writers all fucking working independently of each other and just praying that, they don't cross the streams.
Right.
But now you've got a fucking process that it all goes through, which I think is cool.
Right.
Cool. It's a cool thing. I think this will end up in 20 years being a good thing for Star Wars. Not such a good thing now that it just happened.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's still got a lot of
because right now you're hitting the fucking reset button on 40 years.
Yeah.
But in 100 years, it'll work out better.
Right. So taking just the Star Wars, just the movies themselves, I'm going to just assume that you liked the original trilogy.
I did. I wasn't that guy who watched a lot of Star Wars as a kid.
Me neither.
I didn't start watching Star Wars till I was like in my late, like preteen / young teen. Was when I started getting into Star Wars. It was never my huge bag.
Until
it never really was. Really? Believe it or not, I'm not like that guy who runs around with fucking, a damn. LARP. I don't go around LARP. I've never LARPed. Fuck LARPs.
Whoa.
Get fucked. No.
I'm sorry to all of our LARPing.
I'm not that, I feel really uncomfortable around people who get that far into character. Now, I can appreciate people that do it. We're going off on that. We're switching gears again here.
We can have, I can have an outside the bubble respect for somebody that has, because I'm a fucking video game nerd.
Well,
so
I mean,
I can respect somebody that has
I'm even closer to the fire. I play tabletop RPGs, and I play them a lot. Yeah. I play multiple tabletop RPGs, and I understand. But I am not that guy who goes, well, you know, I feel like I need to talk in a British accent and get up and fucking fling fucking pieces of paper at somebody to pretend I'm shooting lightning bolts. That's not me. It's not me, dog. I could do this and I could take myself seriously at the same time.
Yeah.
I have to have self-respect when I get up off the table.
Heard. So every LARPer has no self-respect.
No, but for me, that's my fucking, you know, that's where I draw the line. I'm like, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Oh man.
There are people, like,
we could get into
if
a
your
cringe
circle,
conversation.
if it can get super cringy.
Yes.
There's a line there.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that all LARPing is that way. I'm just saying that, you know, looking at it from an outside perspective, you end up with that dude saying lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. And you're just like, oh God. Oh God.
Meanwhile, Adam goes and plays D&D.
I can play fucking D&D all day and I go, I'm gonna hit his ass with fireball.
Well, my mage throws a fireball, makes a poof, boom sound.
No, I don't tell him what sound it makes. No. See, that's the difference. This is where we go in. Oh man, let's take this another net. We're gonna peel back one more layer here.
Sure.
Okay. D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There are multiple different archetypes for D&D guys. Okay. One of those is the guy who takes the shit way too seriously and is very close to the LARP guy.
Uh-huh.
You know, the guy who's like, let me play a girl and like shake my physical body like she's shaking her boobs.
Okay.
Okay. That guy creeps me the fuck out. Okay. He goes, I'm gonna put this right in between my boobs. Oh yeah, let me just pack that there for safekeeping. Yeah, no, just fucking,
shut up.
I'm like super cringy now.
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable sitting at the table with you now. Okay. My group is a lot less roleplay heavy.
Yeah.
You know, it's an RPG, but there are people who are more interested in the roleplay aspects, and there are people who are more interested in the mechanical aspects.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm more of a mechanical guy. And
you can have more fun when
my social filter is before,
right.
It ends before we get to the fullest of the spectrum of the role-playing guys.
I feel like a lot of players and a lot of DMs get too involved with the rules and the minutia.
I'm a rules and minutia guy. I'm a mechanical guy.
Well, what I'm saying is that can ruin an experience for somebody. I think Pro Jared said it best. If you've ever watched his D&D December stuff,
I have. I've watched the whole thing.
Where he says the rule book is there, but the rule book is meant to be like
the rule book has a rule in it that says that any of these rules can go right the fuck out the window if you want it to. It's your story.
Book, if you look at the rule book as more of this is where the buck kind of can stop if you need it to, but it's not you have to play everything, because then you have people that
house rules wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And they do have house rules.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we do our character creation house rules.
Mm-hmm.
We have, you roll 4d6s, you take the highest 3 results, and if one of them is below a 3, you can re-roll it.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up with decently high static characters.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's maxed the fuck out.
Yeah.
And you still have to kind of wonder how you're going to do stuff.
But you don't have a couple of shit.
You don't have a guy, you don't have the guy that's like super strong and super fit and mentally fucking retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And not everybody wants to play that, you know. They tell you how you can play it, and the guys, they're like, okay, well, you know, you can always turn this strength into a character trait.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like maybe he has a horrible scar, that's why nobody likes him, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe he talks with a lisp. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want, but those are for role-playing purposes.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're it doesn't help you when you're trying to make a save versus a fucking beholder to be like, he has a lisp. It's just a lisp. It's not actually hurting his ability to do this. No, sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Mechanically, you fucked.
Yeah.
So, anywho, you know, things like that are the more, to me, I want to have a good story, and I want to have, I'm not like, munchkin or anything. I'm not min-maxing or trying to fucking get the most of the zenith out of a character.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to strike probably a 60-40 mechanics to character balance.
Yeah.
You know, I want to have a character that's an interesting concept. Like, he has an interesting mechanic concept that I like.
Mm-hmm.
But he also and then I kind of coat that with a coat of paint for what kind of character I think would be this guy.
But you've made some min-max characters before, though.
I have.
Remember I think the audience would get a real good kick out of you talking about your, Max Luck character. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was a concept I had for fucking, oh man. So Marvel has its own little fucking, RPG that it had.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not going to explain the minutia of the mechanics, but one of the stats was luck.
Mm-hmm.
And luck carried into every action you ever did.
Mm-hmm.
So just as easily as you were trying to punch a fucking dude in the face, as you were trying to, hack a computer terminal or search a room, all luck factored into everything.
Yeah.
It added into everything. So if you maxed it out, you always had at least a 10 in everything.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, okay, I can deal with this.
You didn't have the intelligence to do it. It just so happened somebody left their computer on. And
Yeah.
it just
so happened that the guy had a sticky note on his computer underneath his keyboard that said what the password was, and you're like, oh, okay. Click, 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 click.
just the scenarios that come to anything.
It's like
even
this guy could defeat anybody just by dumb luck.
Yeah.
And he's got a chance against everybody.
You have this D&D crowd. They walk in, they're like, all right, so you guys drew the bad card today. You open this fucking dungeon door, and there's a fucking 20-foot dragon standing in front of you. The breath alone just killed 3 of you. You got 2 of you left. It's you, the mage, and the luck guy. All right, mage, what do you do? Oh, well, I've been saving this one. I've got this thing, and you roll
I got
the
this
dice.
spell I've been saving.
Awesome, you rolled a 19. He has 10,000 hit points. You did 7. He flicked a fingernail at you, and you're dead. All right, luck guy, what about you? I run. Smart man. Well, as you run to the door, just so happens that the dragon runs after you and
Slips, falls, and dies.
and cracks his fucking dragon neck on a pillar, and he's dead. Congratulations.
Yup. There's luck can help you in immense ways. Luck is just
I would love to
retardedly.
be in that. I wish I could be creative enough to think of the scenarios to where it would win, but I would love to be there to just watch all the ways that you got.
Well,
all
the
these
whole
characters.
concept
You
would
got
be-
a rogue and a warrior and a mage and an archer, and they're a fucking. I've got to get my roles perfect, or else. And you got the guy that's just stumble fucking his way through the story. It's like I've got it all.
It's a great concept for a character. It is. And I was so proud of it. Now, here's the thing is like, my idea was to go and straight up go like, day 1, wake up in the morning, I'm going to the casino. Mm-hmm. He rolls up at a casino, walks out with the Iron Man suit, and proceeds to Batman himself in the fucking,
Yep.
just like, what up, because once you have money is its own superpower.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed. But once you got fucking shit tons of money, you
yeah.
can Bruce Wayne it or Tony Stark it, whatever the fuck you want to in life.
Yep.
As far as like comic book characters go.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get that, and then you're like, I'm just really lucky with stocks. Because you can't fail when you got that much luck.
Tell us about your history with D&D. When did you start playing? Like what was your
man.
early life like?
For a long time, I wanted to play D&D and I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't play D&D because there just wasn't enough people around. I would sit there and I would, I'd managed to procure a couple of books.
Mm-hmm.
And I just sat there and scoured these books.
Oh God, they were good reading material.
Oh, yeah.
For a fantasy,
I mean,
person.
the fact is, if you haven't ever read a D&D book, it's really fun. It's like a combination of just different little miniature stories, telling about how like, you get to dexterity. And it's telling you about dexterity, and it's telling you about, like, you see the little charts, and it shows you, okay, well, this is what this range of dexterity does, and this range, and this range, and this range, and these are all the things that it's used for, and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to the part where you start looking at, like, they give you, like, a little excerpt of a story, and it tells you about how, like, this rogue was, darting in between, alleys trying to escape.
Mm-hmm.
Something or something like that.
Yeah.
And just, and then you go to the strength one. It has, gives you the charts and stuff. And then it gives you another little excerpt of a different story about a barbarian trying to lift a cart or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you go to fucking intelligence and it's telling you about this mage that's trying to figure out this other stuff. And you go further on into the book and they go to like the next day in each one of those stories for like a different purpose. Mm-hmm. So you have like encumbrance rules and it's talking about how like the barbarian got all this shit off the cart and now he's like trying to trek through the fucking snow and the ice and
with all this shit.
yeah. So he's like, well, he's gonna have to make this roll and this roll and this roll and this roll, and if he makes this roll, then he can do that, and if he doesn't make this roll, then he can do that.
Yeah.
So it's really, really in depth, and the coolest thing is that you get to make your own fucking shit.
Yeah.
Any fan of RPGs should, by default, have at least a little bit of respect for the tabletop.
Yeah.
If you like Final Fantasy and you don't like D&D, there's
a problem.
There's a disconnect.
There's a misunderstanding.
There's a disconnect there that either you're not completely fully understanding something, or you're not giving it its due diligence, or maybe there's just something in there that specifically turns you off.
Let's make an end of cast statement. You ready?
Oh.
Okay. Final Fantasy. Let's start with the very first one, or let's just mention only the very first one. Is a very
going down a dark road here.
Very, very, very watered down version of D&D.
No.
Well, think about it.
No.
You had the 8 classes you could start out with. The warrior, the black mage, the white mage, the thief.
That's Tolkien though. That's straight. You have to separate D&D from
points,
Tolkien.
You had magic points. You could gain levels. You fought monsters. But the thing is, in D&D,
there's no magic points.
What separates D&D from any RPG to date, maybe aside from the actual D&D games, is that when you get into a battle in Final Fantasy, the enemies pop up on the screen, hit attack, hit spell, hit an item, run. Those are your options. You whack them away, they die. Yay, victory music. You move on. In D&D, you come into a battle, it's a fucking scenario. What are you going to do? And your limitation, almost aside from the dice rolling and what your stats are, is your imagination.
Yeah.
You'll have players that'll go, okay, you just said we came into a clearing and there's 2 orcs here and there's the 4 of us. Okay, I want you to please spend 20 minutes explaining this whole area to me, because I'm going to take every detail you're saying seriously, because I can use some of this. There's a log down there that's probably for cover. That badass could probably pick that log up and move it as a weapon. You said there's a cart over there. That cart has stuff on it. I could probably use that for fire. I could probably steal. Maybe there's weapons on that cart.
There's all kinds of little scenarios that you can get into. Let me give you for instance. There are so many times. The thing about D&D is that you spend a 3-hour journey takes 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
A 5-minute fight takes 3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where the meat of it is.
Well, that's where the meat of it is for some people. Some people like the story aspect. Some people like the fighting. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to get into that debate. Some people like dungeon crawling and figuring out traps and shit like that.
Let me redact that. Yes, it's the meat of it is in the
experience,
is in the depth of it. Period.
Correct.
Yeah. Because
you can go as far into anything as you want.
Yeah.
You can make a character that has 0 fighting skill.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have a bad time.
Mm-hmm.
But you chose this route. But at the same time, he may have such a high diplomacy skill that literally no one wants to fight him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally no one wants to fight him unless it can't understand what he's saying. Mm-hmm. And it's a wild animal, incapable of interpreting his language, or just a person that can't speak his language.
Mm-hmm.
Then literally no one fights him.
Not only do people not want to fight him, there are people that want to join him.
Correct.
There's
people that will lay down their lives for him.
Yep.
So
you never know. You may be walking with a future prince or a king in your party.
The thing that, this is a topic unto itself.
Well, today'd be a good day to talk about it.
Well,
then.
since this is Untopicality Cast.
This is Tangent Cast.
This is Tangent Cast. This is bonus material right here.
I love to hear you talk about stuff like D&D and Star Wars, because you have such at least a verse knowledge in it where you can speak about stories. By God, if you want to spend 2 hours talking about Dungeons and Dragons, fucking go for it. If you want to spend 2 minutes,
that's what we'll do then.
All right.
But you're looking at different kinds of theories as far as like D&D guys go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you got people that are like primarily story people. You got people that are primarily combat people. You got mixes like me. Some people take it way differently than others, if that makes sense. You have the guys who are, they get fucking dressed up and go LARPing and blah, 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 blah. And then you have the GMs that are like super fucking serious and don't allow for little comedic moments. They want everyone to stay in character.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. I prefer a relaxed game. I'm having fun when I'm playing D&D. I don't like to have, I like to go off on tangents just like I always do. I'll be like, oh yeah, and I fucking flung the fucking, we played Vampire Dark Ages. All right. And I made a character that was just the most fucking evil son of a bitch you ever fucking met. And, he basically rolled up into a situation where he was like, having to hunt down some information to find something. I can't remember what the hell he was actually looking for in the game, but, it was a minor detail. He was like, I gotta find this person so I can figure out what's going on with this thing. And he went into a blacksmith's thing. And, he walks in there and the blacksmith is, out doing work or whatever, and he finds the blacksmith's daughter, and the blacksmith's daughter's like, "Hi, can I help you?" And it's like, "Yes, you can." I flung her ass into the furnace and slammed the door closed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, there are, there is a whole lot of freedom that you just didn't have before whenever you play a tabletop game like that, and it's fun to experiment with it. In this case, the blacksmith came back and he didn't know where his daughter was. So, eventually he noticed.
Hired a witcher.
Eventually, if he hired a witcher, then I'd have been dead. But, and they do, and there's so much lore behind all this stuff. But it's fun to play around with concepts in games. It's fun to play around with just the freedom you have in these games.
Yeah.
And some people don't enjoy when you play around with that freedom, and some people only play around with it. I can't stand a game that's just wacky and nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, but I can't stand a game where it's so rigidly put in. I've actually been like ostracized from D&D groups before because I didn't fucking I didn't follow their protocol.
Stick to the rules.
I didn't follow their protocol.
You put your shades
My character got drunk and did some stupid shit in the bar, and he got straight kicked out of the party. I started being like, "Hey man, when are we gonna play again?" And they're like,
Oh.
Yep. And then I was like, okay, I guess. No, well, you can always find another group. And I was like, yeah, I guess I can.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this guy was like a bard that was just, it was his whole thing was he was really charismatic and fucking having fun and shit. And, yeah, I guess they wanted the stick to be farther up my ass when I was playing than it was. And I was like, oh man, oh well, whatever, But then you hear stories about guys that, one of my favorite D&D stories that I read online was about somebody made a bear rogue. Okay. And this bear took all these ranks in disguise and in bluff. Okay. So he disguised himself as a human and then managed to growl in ways that simulated speech. Okay. And through his adventures, he became like the lord of a castle. And his ranks were so high in this that no one ever realized that he was a bear and not a person.
Wow.
Okay. And then finally he was at like a dinner, like a big dinner or something like that. And somebody nat 20 to fucking disguise check and fucking realized that dude's a fucking bear. And then everybody else looked at him and was like, "How dare you insult Lord Barrington?" Yeah. And dragged him out. And he's like, "He's just a fucking bear. Oh my God."
I'm sure Adam could help me on this, but I can totally sell anybody D&D.
Yeah.
D&D has one, besides the rolling, besides the rules that the DM the DM decides he's going to strictly follow.
Yeah.
D&D has one rule, and that wall is your imagination.
And it's not necessarily just D&D. When we say D&D, we're saying it like you say Kleenex in exchange for tissue.
Yeah.
Because
we're saying tabletops, period.
Tabletop gaming at all has another facet, it's a completely different dimension than your standard RPGs. RPGs steal from this.
Yeah.
They don't steal from.
Exactly.
You know, and anytime because the mechanics are always way more fleshed out. That's one of the things that actually has me super excited for this new CD Projekt Red game. Mm-hmm. Is the fact that they're taking the tabletop game and trying to translate that into, now they're not going to be fully successful.
Yeah.
Don't even kid yourself. They can't.
Yeah.
They can't make it to where you can walk in and do whatever, because there's literally not, if a drop down list appeared, you hit the action button and it said, okay, here's in alphabetical order all the actions you can possibly take in the universe. Mother of God. Wow. That wouldn't even be fun.
That would take a team just to have one person have one.
You would actually just start typing in like, I want to rub her.
Autocorrect shit would autofill.
Yeah, you start typing in rub her shoulders, back, ass, fucking dog, whatever it is.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, okay, no, we don't want to play guess the verb here. But you're never going to get that far in a video game.
Yeah.
But you can in a tabletop game, and it's on the fly. It's you and your friends. You could just as easily be playing a game where you're all vampires as you could be playing a game where you're all heroes, Tolkien-esque heroes going from dungeon to dungeon to dungeon. Mm-hmm. Or you could be, you know, playing, you know, there are games, we played where, you know, we were just cybernetically fucking augmented versions of our normal selves, and we just made characters based on what we thought we were, mm-hmm. you know, and we were like, okay, well, let's exacerbate one of our own traits. And the cool thing, this is one of the things I was going to get into earlier, is that when I say you have, things don't ever go as planned.
Yeah.
You know, as a GM, that's one of the cardinal rules about playing, is you let the game develop as it develops. Mm-hmm. You don't try to railroad your players into a set group of actions.
Yep.
Try to adjust your story based on the character's actions.
Yeah.
And most of the time, like, you set up an encounter, okay? Mm-hmm. You set up an encounter that you think is going to be quite easy mm-hmm. for you, and this has happened a lot. You're like, okay, well, these guys are going to get dusted, and then we're going to move on to the next section of the story. Well, it turns out to be the most epic life and death fucking fight in the entire goddamn world, just because a couple of things went bad with the dice, or just situational modifiers, or your players just didn't think the way you thought they would.
Yep.
And, you know, suddenly, you know, what was supposed to take 2 seconds for them to just crush is like, they're fighting for their lives, mm-hmm. you know? And they talk about this one encounter with this fucking shit group of enemies that you put out, and, you know, it's a thing that they talk about 10 years later. Mm-hmm. And the inverse of that, where you set up this massive encounter with this big group of badass motherfuckers, and they just go meh and fucking shit stomp.
Yep.
They just dominate, and you're like, oh god, these guys were supposed to be hard.
If you think about it, the way it should be, it's not so much that the DM makes something to where it's challenging. It's always the DM with this big folded arms, haha, look what I've made, and the players are scrambling to figure out what to do. It should be the players are smart, intelligent, very imaginative, and you have to start going, well, shit, what can I do to make this better? What can I do to flip this on them?
What you
How
want
can
is
I curtail their progress?
Yeah, what you want, it's not even curtailing their progress. You are not there
diverting, or however you say.
Yeah, a lot of people get in this thought process where they believe that the DM is supposed to be the enemy of the player characters.
And it's not.
And what he is the facilitation of the story. Mm-hmm. He is supposed to be like, okay, your characters went out on this adventure. Mm-hmm. Here's what happens. Mm-hmm. And it could be he's obviously got a plot or something in his head. And I like to play it freestyle. I like to be like, okay, well, you know, this is what's generally going on. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to have like, okay, well, they need to make it they need to make it here by 3 days from now, or else, you know, they missed this event. Mm-hmm. No, I just say, well, I'm going to try to push them in this direction. And if they don't end up going to San Francisco, maybe they end up in LA, and we have the event there instead of here.
Yeah.
You know, so I like to be fluid.
Yeah.
And I think I'm pretty good at that because I'm really good at thinking on my toes.
I think fluid DMs are great to have too.
Yeah, and it's a good idea to have. I don't know how much have you ever played any RPGs like pen and paper RPGs?
That's why I was going over the history of yours. I was going to have you talk about where you come from, what you did. Mine is not that extensive at all.
No?
I played D&D for the first time when I was in middle school.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Well, my memory is bad anyway.
Being a gamer,
well, my memory
you'd think
is bad
you'd be like, whoa, this is kind of my shit, you know?
We didn't follow, we didn't do good enough because we didn't play it like any way we should have. We tried to play it like on our lunch break.
No right. Oh yeah.
Well,
okay.
Let me get to it.
Gotcha.
So we made characters like I had the book and I had also skimmed through books most of the time and just read a lot of the fascinating things in these books, but I never sat down and got all the rules straight and read everything I need to do. When the DM friend of mine was like, make a character, I said, okay, without even looking at the book, this is what I'd like to make. I'd like to make an archer.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be a character that has like a pet. Can you have pets? He's like, yeah. I said, well, can you have a dragon? He's like, well, you can have like a little pseudo dragon. It's like a little dragon that fits in the palm of your hand. I was like, I want that. He's like, okay. You know, I forget how we did it or what character.
It's a familiar, but yeah.
Yeah. So I made a character and we played, I don't even remember the story. I remember the arc because we played it for maybe 2 or 3 months, and just the way time worked, we just weren't being able to put enough time into it. We didn't meet up after school or anything like that, so it went away.
D&D games are like, and I really wish I could get you in one of these because you would.
Oh,
fucking
you can.
love it.
You can easy. Anybody can sell me on D&D because I've played it before.
I mean,
I know.
Well, I mean,
I'm just
any
so
good. Here's the thing: is if you have a good group, you don't need to pick up a damn book.
Yeah.
You can walk in there blind and they will walk you through it to the point where you get, you begin to understand, you begin to pick it up as you go.
Yeah.
Now, reading the books is a bonus and it helps you, but there is no, there's no set right way to do this.
I would love to play D&D these days, having my older, extensive video game knowledge of stuff.
Well, the cool thing, and when we say D&D, once again, it's really important that we make the distinction that this is, every system has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
Okay. And D20 systems have their own flaws, and so does any other. I mean, there's like a Dragon Ball RPG out there you can play. Each of them have their little strengths and their weaknesses and their ups and their downs, and you could just as easily, it's a lot easier to die in some systems, and it's a lot harder to die in some systems, and some of them have very rigid rules where they're like, okay, well, in D&D it's like, you gotta do this way. Magic doesn't work the way, the difference between a mage in that White Wolf Mage the Ascension and a mage in D&D is that a mage in White Wolf would utterly shit stomp a mage from D&D.
It's a controversial statement.
No, it's not even a controversial statement. Because he would just will him out of existence.
Oh, wow.
Because a mage in D&D has to go through there is a complicated process for making a spell. Okay, there's a complicated process for going outside of the norm. Mostly magic in D&D is, okay, do I have this spell in my spell list? And there's a giant fucking, and that's a whole different topic, but there are 1,000+ pages of, or not pages, but 1,000+ spells that are listed off with specific effects and durations and abilities and etceteras for mages. It's like a pre-mixed spell kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you go outside those bounds and say you want to make a spell that animates an ice statue, forms a giant ice statue and makes it walk around and go, hey, how's it going, buddy? And just fucking is a butler. Well, now you're getting into a completely different, and you have to have certain feats, and you have to meet prerequisites, and you gotta try to work it out with your GM on how exactly you're gonna do this thing, So the system is very rigid in that regard, if that makes sense. The thing about, as opposed to Mage, where it's like, what things would you have to manipulate in order to do that? You need to be able to make the ice. You need to be able to make this thing fucking sentient. Okay, cool. Roll that. Roll, see if you can accomplish those tasks. You know what I mean? The other thing about it is fucking, anytime you have, like, combat abilities. Say we're not talking about magic at all. The difference between what it would be like to throw a punch at somebody in 4th edition D&D as opposed to just 3.5 D&D is huge. Yeah. Because I've seen a pretty skilled melee combatant get his ass whooped by a townsperson.
Oh shit.
By just rolling bad.
Yeah.
Just rolling bad. And I mean, it's not to say that you couldn't roll bad in 3.5 and get your ass whooped. It wouldn't have looked as bad.
Yeah.
In 3.5. Because I doubt the townsperson would have been able to hit the armor class. But seeing as how they were around similar level, he was getting similar bonuses, and he just knocked the fuck out of this player character. And I was like, wow, you just got beat up by a commoner. It was sad. It was fucking sad. So you end up with completely different scenario. And I haven't really played 5.0 so far, but I've heard things that make me more optimistic about it, because 4.0 was a big departure.
That's what I hear.
That a lot of the...
Isn't that the thing where like everybody pretty much stays with 3.5 and they don't like 4.0 because it went so...
Well, it went World of Warcraft on it. It started putting cooldowns on powers, and like they had an ability, where you shield bash a guy and you knock him to the ground. You only do that once per encounter.
Wow.
Why the fuck?
Yeah.
In a game where I'm allowed to do anything I want, I could take my dick out and piss on this dude while he's on the ground.
You only do it once an encounter.
You can only do it once an encounter.
Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, okay, this is the antithesis of pen and paper right here.
Yeah, it's making it more.
They tried to change some of that in 5.0, and I haven't seen how much they have changed it. But they have changed it at least a little bit, especially with the magic. The magic in 4th edition was terrible. It was fucking terrible. I have my own gripes about 3.5. I think that there are lots of different power sources in the world. You got kung fu masters that get their power source from like their internal fucking harmony or whatever, and then you've got people that draw upon the strength of their own courage, or the strength of their deity, or the strength of their magic, or demonic power, and a lot of those only really divine and arcane power sources got mapped out as much. They got a whole lot of love because a lot of things, go into those power sources. Like a paladin and a cleric get their power from the same thing, a god. So they have 1,000 plus fucking divine spells in the game. And a sorcerer and a wizard get their spells from the same fucking thing, which is the arcane. So they have 1,000 plus fucking spells in that. But then you take like a warlock who gets his spells from demons. Not so much. Not so much. He's got some lazily written fucking, he's got maybe 50 things and he gets to choose 9 of them. Wow. So it's like, you could have spent some more time on this. Pathfinder, they made 3.5 open source after, they moved on to 4.0, which was the best thing for gaming. That Wizards of the Coast is the last good thing they did, as far as I'm concerned. 5.0 is yet to be determined. And from what I've heard, it's not. It was a half of a step in the right direction. So they basically made 3.5 open source when they moved on, and somebody said, okay, well, good, I can sell this. And they fucking took it, tweaked it, sold it. And as soon as they did that, I think Wizards kind of realized their mistake, which was that, they had a system that had been getting worked on for years and years and years, and it had headed in this direction, And it had kind of gotten itself bogged down. Mm-hmm. And they got so caught up in trying to unbog it down that they decided to just wipe it to a clean slate and start over. And that was not the smart thing to do.
No.
So it is what it is. But there's a lot of it's just like any other thing, whether it's music or art or fucking movies or games. Tabletop RPGs are as deep or as shallow as you want to make it. You can take it like popcorn and just have fun with it, or you can go all in and start, you can make this your only fucking passion and just completely lose yourself in it and just it, and I think that, it would be really fucking cool to have, a big group around here. Right now, my group is pretty small. It's like 3 people. There's like a sweet spot that around 3 to 5 people.
Yeah.
That you want to hit when you're in like a D&D group, where you don't have so many people that you never get a turn, but you don't have so many or so little people that you don't have enough ideas going around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you want to have that kind of a flow. Mm-hmm. And there's just so many different ways you can go into it.
I love the imagination aspect of the game. It's been a personal thing of mine that I don't ever feel I have enough imagination. And then I go play games like and this goes into another way to sell these type of games. You remember Grand Theft Auto 3?
Yeah.
Remember, one of the biggest things about it was, aside from the controversy of, there's hookers and you can just shoot random people, that was actually part of the point.
Yeah.
Was that when you step out from your garage or the police station or wherever, they just say go. So you have the freedom to just walk up to somebody, just punch them. You also have the ability to just go find a parked car and open it. You have an idea to steal a car. You have an idea to just go run around the fucking city. You can go drive around the city. Take this to another level. I know I just can't shut up about this game, but a game like Breath of the Wild, where they just give you a fucking world and they say, okay, you walk up to this camp, you have a sword and a shield, and you have 2 enemies. Engage them. Yeah, the one way is to walk up to one and fucking pull your shield out and block his attacks and attack appropriately afterward. There's 80 other ways to do that.
Yep.
That's, if you are that type of person, if you played these open world, open-ended games where you were like, well, yeah,
I want to do this my way.
I was supposed to go A, B, C, D, but I didn't even get to B for like 20 hours.
But I just decided to start with Z and work my way back.
I just did all these weird things. I just played the sandbox. If sandbox is the type of thing that you get excited about, if you play Grand Theft Auto 3 or Breath of the Wild or any open-ended game like that, and you just fucked around, and your excitement and the pleasure and the substance of those games was just you fucking around and just, I want to try this. Let me go try this. Let me go try that. Let me go see what I can do over here. This is where your home is.
Yeah. And I got into an argument one time about a completely unrelated subject. I was talking to this one guy that I work with, and we were having this discussion about, books and movies and, how books get translated into movies. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, I have my own imagination. I don't need, somebody to fucking put the damn thing in a movie for me. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, but you don't have my imagination.
Yeah.
You can't ever experience what I had in my head if I don't make it into this media. And I think that's a good point for video games, is that they'll always take you outside of your own box, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They'll show you some shit that you would never have dreamed of in a million years.
Yep.
I would have never thought about, I could have read a book about Deus Ex, but I wouldn't have seen what they meant.
Yeah.
Unless I'd played the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Stuff like Star Wars. I could have read a thing about, and I'd have had a completely different idea of what the lightsaber would have looked like and what, all these, they could describe it in the book. Oh, it's this cylindrical thing that comes out of this cylindrical thing and it's like a giant beam of light that glows. And I'd have been like, okay, I have a mental picture of that. And then I watched the movie and it's completely different from my mental picture of what that thing looked like.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing about D&D is that you get to form your own way the story looks, and you're going to try to make it look as fucking cool as possible.
Oh, yeah.
So your idea of what, Jimmy's character is going to look like it's different from Billy Bob, different from Shithead, different from etc.
Mm-hmm.
And all of y'all had different pictures on how this thing went down.
Yeah.
And, any good DM is going to be able to paint you this good picture of how this story goes. But they're never going to do it as good as a video game that shows you what's happening.
Yeah.
And because that's someone else's imagination being projected on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a better than, worse than kind of scenario. It's more of a apples and oranges kind of scenario.
Yeah.
You can read a book and you can, say Jurassic Park or whatever. You read the book and you can be like, wow, that's pretty cool. It's a camp about dinosaurs. Then you can watch the movie and be like, oh, look, that's completely different than what I thought it was going to be like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, they all the little things that you didn't think about, like, okay, well, they have banners and advertisements and shit while you walk through it like it's a theme park. I would have never thought about that. And I don't fucking think about small details like that.
Yeah.
But somebody else did, and their imagination fueled my experience later on.
And I totally am not trying to pound all this onto the GM and the DM, because a lot of it is you too.
Yeah.
But it's awesome when you don't have to read these books and look at the pictures in D&D or any tabletop game.
Nope.
A DM can describe what the fuck that goblin looks like, or describe what that apparition looked like, what happens when he phases through something, or etc. You don't have to open up a page. They don't go, you walked into this room, there's a feral giant rat. You go, okay. And here's a picture. Here's what you're fighting. That's not what this is about.
Mm-hmm.
It's about,
that goes back to the different types of game players that you run into, because you have some DMs, and these are the more stick up your ass kind of DMs in my experience, go in there and they're like, you walk into this musty corridor, and the stalactites are dripping with little plops of water onto the ground. And then you notice that the portcullis, that there's the fucking green man standing there with
there's a slight stench in the air. It smells of sweetbread and ale.
It smells, yes, and then you're just like, okay, well, can we get on with the fucking what's gonna happen?
Shut up, I'm in the zone.
Because when I walk into a situation like that, I'm thinking about what just happened. I'm thinking about, damn, that woman, that's some fucked up shit. That woman's child's missing. I bet she's really fucking sad about that, and blah 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 blah. I'm not thinking, oh man, let me just absorb all this fucking exposition you're dumping on me. I'm like, what the fuck is this son bitch doing here?
Yeah.
So I'm already moved on to the next thing. Whenever it clicks that there's somebody in the room with me, I'm like, why are they here? What are they doing? I need to know. And this really is a preference kind of thing. I'm like, there are people that want these details, that want this fleshed out for them. And they're a different breed of tabletop gamer than the guys who are like, I want to move on with the story. I want to see some cool stuff. I want to accomplish this task, and that's when, your groups really synergize, is when they're all focused around the same type of goals. When they all enjoy the same level of gameplay, that's when you get a really harmonious group. And there are a lot of things that factor in whether or not the group stays harmonious during the game, but at least then they'll all sync up with each other really well. And if you ever go to like a Gamescom or anything like that, and you go around meeting tabletop guys, you're gonna meet these guys. You're gonna run into one of those guys he's probably smells of fucking elderberries and fucking dog shit, and he's got, they're always like a little, I don't know why, but they tend to attract sycophants. And there are like 4 or 5 other little sub nerds around them that are all worshiping his cock as he, takes his virgin ass out to fucking sit at the table.
A lot of stereotypes flying out from the Tomcast right
Fuck
now.
this dude. But no, and he'll walk his little ass over to the table and he'll be like, I can't run this game without the lights being dimmed and us lighting some candles. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm not that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I love D&D. I love tabletop gaming, but I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's just a very, it's just fun. I mean, it has something for everything. I'm not gonna really knock those guys. You know, I'm just kind of kidding with not say all this bullshit, you know. But those guys have their place and they have their people that fucking love it. And if they're having fun and they're advancing my media, then fucking good fucking shit, man. They give fucking, you know, Wizards of the Coast your money so I can fucking get more shit.
We may not like
that's the difference between somebody that likes horror movies and somebody that likes fucking comedies.
Yeah.
You know, we like the same media, dude.
Yeah.
So we're both going to the same theater. We're just going in different rooms.
Put money
You just stay your fucking way. You just stay your ass over there and don't try to inject your shit into mine and we'll be okay. You know? And, you know, so and I in one day I can't sit here and go over the breadth of different things that are involved in this culture, but it is its own little culture.
You were talking earlier about teams and synergy and everything. Can you think of a time where you had like a great team and then think of like, man, you know what a great thing about D&D is stories. You have any great stories? You have any things that you can remember where like, oh man, I remember this one time, this one group, you did this one thing at this place. Oh, so badass.
I remember.
Oh, it was so cool.
Are you looking
we
for,
got our shit kicked in. Who knows?
You looking for a good story?
Yes.
You looking for a good story? I'll give you a D&D story.
I fucking love.
Let me tell you about my very first Star Wars character.
Okay, go for it.
All right, now here's the thing about me. Okay, I like being a moderately powerful character usually, but whenever I start a game, you know, and it's the first time I've ever played a game, I will typically not go for the most powerful class. So if I'm playing Star Wars, I won't make a Jedi first. I won't make a, you know, I'm not trying to make Luke fucking Skywalker in my first go through. I'm not going to make a mage in D&D. I'm not trying to be the most powerful thing right off the bat. I like to start off with the unusual thing first.
Yeah.
And see how that plays out. So I played Star Wars very first fucking time, and I decided to make a pilot.
Okay.
Now, this guy had no force sensitivity whatsoever. He's
why
just
you make a Jedi?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, is I don't like making that kind of a character when I first started. And it's not to say I wouldn't ever make one. It's just I'm not going to start with that. Yeah. I want to see how, you know, the plain Jane motherfucker rolls around and then appreciate that power later on. So I roll up in there and I have like a shitty fucking cargo freighter that I have, and I'm tasked with bringing these Jedis to this thing, and we get in a scuffle. Now my guy was a fucking complete coward. That was the way I made him. I was like, he doesn't want to die. That's his whole thing. He is a fucking shitball coward, and he has no combat skill. He's a good pilot. He's a good pilot. But he is not, you know, he's not a fucking Jedi pilot or anything. Yeah. So I'll roll up in there and I take these guys I'm supposed to be taking them to this planet, and we get intercepted, and I'm like, oh shit, let me try to get out of here. And just through bad rolls / whatever, we got caught. And we all got taken prisoner and, you know, basically interrogated and tortured. And I was like, I don't know these motherfuckers. You know, they separated us into different rooms, and I was like, I'm not trying to escape. I just don't want the Empire to kill me. I'm a good citizen. You know, it's like, I was just trying to earn some extra credits from my family. And, so anywho, we're going through this, and they break me out, and I'm like, I guess I'll go with you then, whatever. I guess they're gonna execute me anyway. So I dip out of there, and fucking we fly off, and we land wherever it was we were supposed to land, and the Empire's waiting there. And I was like, oh, fuck. So everybody else commences to fucking hand-to-hand combat with these guys right in the dock.
Wow.
You know, they're like pulling out their lightsabers and doing backflips and shit. And my guy's got a little bitty blaster pistol. Not even a good blaster pistol. Okay, he's just like, got like, he doesn't even have like the Han Solo blaster pistol that like kills people. He's got like the fucking one that like you have on like your ankle holster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's like, well, I'm not gonna hit anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like fucking enemy, like, stormtroopers and shit just all over the place. And I'm like, I'm gonna go back in the ship. And then I thought about it. I was like, you know what I could do? I could just fucking turn the guns on this ship and just fucking devastate these son of bitches.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the old GM common sense fucking chime in.
Mm-hmm.
And GM goes, now you know. And I go, and he goes, you know that one of the things about being in port is that they don't particularly like people firing off their ship weapons in the port.
Yeah.
And they have defense systems specifically designed to take care of motherfuckers that decide to do shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'll take my chances.
Mm-hmm.
And so I fucking swung around my little freighter's fucking shit ball fucking, it was nothing to another ship.
Yeah.
But to a person,
Oh, yeah.
oh, it might as well, this is like a 50 caliber machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's more than a 50. It's like a small howitzer round.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
To them. So there's no chance they'll live through this. And I go, bam, bam, bam. I smoked 3 of them. I didn't even hit. I just hit close enough to where the splash damage killed them.
And they went, oh, fuck.
And then the turbo laser swung around and dusted my first character. So the angels.
Well, you said you'd take your chances.
Yep, I took my chances and I crapped out.
But did you at least from a story perspective, did you help the people that you were with? Like, did they end up escaping and your
They did end up moving on to bigger and better things later on.
Nobody remembered.
Nobody remembered my character
What?
that valiantly sacrificed himself.
Wow.
They weren't losing this fight.
Yeah.
Okay, I had no reason to do that. I was just young and I was like, I'm gonna contribute somehow. You know?
And they're just looking back at you like, no, it's okay. Stay down. You're like, no, fuck that.
I gotta help.
I gotta do something.
Yeah. But, I mean, and you play it like you do it. That's one of many characters that I've lost due to bad decision making. But, it happens that way sometimes.
What about another D&D game that wasn't D&D? You said, was it a Metro game, I think? Was it a cyberpunk type of game?
I played Cyberpunk, I've played, Vampires.
Have you played any mech?
Yeah.
You got any mech stories? 'Cause man.
Mech stories? Oh man, I can think of a couple.
I think a mech story would be real good.
Oh,
I think
God.
we as a whole.
We played a homebrew Gundam game. Okay. And, my best part was actually had nothing to do with the mechs. But it did involve a mech.
How about mechs?
Damn. Okay. Well,
I'm just saying we've had this conversation before.
This was a
mechs are a
this was
rare
a
breed these days.
After Colony Gundam, which is Gundam Wing game that was homebrewed by one of my friends. He came up with the entire system by hand. And so it was very math intensive, but he took care of all the math, so you didn't have to. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, well then, I'm going to do this and this and this. So we played this game and I got like a shitty, like baby basic fucking, fodder suit. And, we're fighting against fucking I can't remember. I think we were fighting Oz. Oz is the bad guys in Universal, or After Colony, yeah. So we're fighting against them and we're assaulting some base somewhere and we're doing all this shit. And there's a train going into this base. Mm-hmm. Now, the main attack was on the base, but we were sent as a diversion to go hit this train. Mm-hmm. So we hit the train and the very first thing that happens is they nail one of the thrusters on my ship. Now, the system that he designed was so specific that it would figure out where it hit on your suit and what it damaged and what the effects were. Mm-hmm. This guy critted me in such a way that it destroyed my mobile suit's ability to fly.
Oh, shit.
And
like,
so,
not that you flew erratically, but you couldn't fly at all.
I couldn't fly at all.
Wow.
So I was flying towards the train, and the train's like little shit gun goes, and like tracks my fucking suit and goes, "Bow!" And I go, "Oh God!" I'm like flying towards it, and then I'm not able to fly anymore.
Oh shit.
So I hit the ground and boom, right in front of the tracks, and like the train slams into my suit, but I live.
Oh wow.
And I get out and I proceed to kill everyone on this train with a rifle.
Wow.
Yes.
Damn.
So I was feeling pretty good. And the thing was, is we had talked about it before, cause he's like, hand-to-hand combat is going to be visceral. Mm-hmm. So if you get outside of the suit, you have almost no chance. It's going to be very fucking 50-50. Like, you need to watch the fuck out when you're on the ground.
Yeah.
And, so we got out of and the whole time I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I just managed to murder everybody on this fucking train, including some scientists and some other stuff that were coming in.
Jesus.
And, one of the things they had in it was an experimental suit on the back of the train. Mm-hmm. And so I fucking popped open that and I was like, oh, well, let me check this thing out. And it was like the Type 2 shit fucking mobile suit. The next generation, like, in Wing, they came out with new generations until they finally got off to the really badass ones. Mm-hmm. So I think this was like a Leo. It went from like being a Leo to like a Virgo or some shit. Yeah. I can't remember type mobile suit. Mm-hmm. This thing could fly a lot faster. Mm-hmm. And I was like, as I was flying towards fucking, the base, and I was like, I'm gonna assist now. Yeah, get hit with another thing, crash again.
Oh God.
With my new suit.
Oh God.
Gets hit again, knocked out of the air again, and this time I go crashing. It's like a big castle. Mm-hmm. I go crashing through the wall and just, oh God.
I'm here.
Oh God. This time my character was too fucked up to move.
Oh Jesus.
Because he had already taken some damage from the first time he crashed to the ground and then got hit by a train. Mm-hmm. So he was already kind of beat up as he was going through murdering all the people on that train that survived the wreck. Now he was like, going through like, oh God. And so I crawl out of his suit and I'm like, I managed to find one of the gun batteries where they were shooting back up at the mobile suits coming in on us. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh God. And I pulled myself up to my feet and like opened the door to the back of the battery. And they're like, there's two guys in there. They're like tracking targets and shooting at shit. And I'm just like, bang, bang, kill them. And I grabbed the fucking gun and swinging around it. The whole time this is going on, my other guys are, having giant, they're like, everybody else managed to not get fucked on the rolls.
Yeah.
So they're all like having like super cool fucking mobile suit combat fights. Like I'm fighting, they're like, oh man, he just killed 3 more guys, and oh man, he's doing all this cool Gundam stuff, and I'm like, oh God, my guy's like, as he fights it out on the ground. I killed more people than they did on the ground.
Damn.
So they're all fucking like having a big giant war and dealing with all this flak and stuff that's popping up. Mm-hmm. And I grab the flak gun and I turn around and start shooting the other flak guns with the flak gun that I grabbed. And that was not how that was supposed to go at all.
Yeah.
I found out later from my friend, we didn't end up continuing that game because the system was kind of wonky.
Yeah.
It needed some work and it never really ended up getting fixed. But, the way that was supposed to go down was I was supposed to get some information off the train and then go to the, go fly back over there and do all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, I ended up getting a whole new mobile suit, and then he was thinking, oh man, well I can't just let him keep this new mobile suit.
Yeah.
So he was like, yep, you're going to have to lose that one too. So the first time I got shot down, it was legit. The second time I got shot down, not so legit.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that a GM can do, and I don't recommend that they fudge numbers, but if it helps the story,
yeah,
and you're not gonna fuck somebody with it, you can fudge numbers.
Yeah.
Positively or negatively to get this story where it needs to go.
Yeah.
That's just that's one of those behind the curtain kind of things that you don't need to tell somebody you're fucking them.
Yeah.
Ever. Mm-hmm. You should never ever let them think it wasn't a dice roll that fucked them over. That's rule number 1 of playing any tabletop RPG is don't ever tell your friends that you were like, yeah, you couldn't have that, so I just fucking took it from you.
Yeah. It was.
That's how friendships get lost.
Yep.
This was like months after we stopped playing the game that he told me this.
Oh wow.
And I was like, no, it's cool. But I'd been mad. I'd been so mad. But anywho, I ended up losing that brand spanking new super cool mobile suit.
Mm-hmm.
And, we never ended up playing the game again, but it was so cool of a scene.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might have been my most intense fight scene I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah. We played a game of Dark Ages where we didn't make, vampires. We made humans.
Dark Ages, I guess, is like a vampire.
In White Wolf, the system White Wolf,
mm-hmm.
there are Dark Ages Vampire and Vampire the Masquerade. Now, Dark Ages Vampire is medieval vampires.
Yeah.
And Vampire the Masquerade is modern day vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you have Mage and Werewolf, and they're all, if you've ever seen Underworld, they literally ripped it out of this game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that whole movie.
Huh.
The whole premise of that fucking movie, and they got sued.
I did not know
Yeah,
this.
well, you know it now.
Wow.
You can Google it. They got sued for fucking just stealing the entire concept out of fucking White Wolf.
Wow.
Where vampires and fucking werewolves and don't be surprised if a new fucking one of these movies comes out, because they end up having to get the rights.
Mm-hmm.
And if one of these comes out and like there are mages getting involved, like the Half-Blood thing and the hybrid and all that, that all came out of fucking White Wolf stories.
Wow. Huh. You learn something old every day.
Yep. So, excuse me. You have all these different little sections cordoned off in White Wolf. Well, I decided to make, and they even have like the wave people become vampire hunters and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. Let me go ahead and give you the backstory on this. Typically, when humans have like a fragile ego.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they need to know that the world works in a certain manner in order to continue being human.
Yeah.
If they discover that supernatural shit is real, and this is a very, I'm baby basic explaining this, so obviously there's going to be a few details that I just kind of skim over, but, when they discover something's not real, a couple of things happen. They either become completely batshit fucking insane. Most probable thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. So they go completely insane. The world doesn't work the way it's supposed to, and they know it now, and they're just like, oh my fucking God.
Yep.
Okay. 2, they awaken if they're a mage. Mm-hmm. If they have the mage's bloodline, they become awakened, and what'll happen is mages will instantly appear and fucking grab them and be like, we need to teach you before you destroy reality.
Yeah. We don't know what power level you have. You may have something really big.
Yeah, this isn't Hogwarts. This is fucking like military fucking boot camp.
Yeah.
You need to not fucking destroy reality.
Yeah.
And then you have ones that become hunters. Now you can become like a demon hunter or a vampire hunter. It all depends on what you saw, how you saw it, etc., and what your destiny was. So we played normal humans that didn't have that. Mm-hmm. They didn't fall into one of those categories. They were just normal humans interacting with it. Mm-hmm. So they didn't develop any special powers. They didn't go insane. None of that. And we ended up having a giant, like, it was always a fight to survive. We were like running with clans of werewolves and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And the thing they don't tell you, and the thing I always think about when I see like Twilight or any of that, is I go back to the White Wolf rules on all this shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, well, what is the difference between a vampire and a werewolf? And for you, that's like, oh, well, it's obvious. One is this and one is that. Mm-hmm. Well, who would win in a fight? I know the answer. Do you? Probably not, because you haven't really thought about it that much. Yeah. But a newly turned vampire is actually really weak. Really, really weak. They have they're stronger than a normal human being. Yeah. Obviously. A day one werewolf and a day one vampire, a day one werewolf will shred a day one vampire. Just utterly annihilate. Mm-hmm. A 200-year-old werewolf versus a 200-year-old vampire. Vampire dominates in the exact same way. Mm-hmm. Because One of them has a lower beginning and a higher top end, and that's the vampire.
Yeah.
So the older a vampire gets, the more fucking insane it gets, and they lose their humanity over time and things like that. They begin to no longer be human in any recognizable form. And werewolves, there's a whole lot to werewolves in the way they work. There's a whole lot to vampires in the way they work, because there are different clans for each of them, different, bloodlines for each of them.
Let me ask, if you can keep on that train of thought.
Yeah.
In this game you're talking about, how do you kill a vampire? How do you kill a werewolf? Because if you ask me, I'm thinking, well, a silver bullet.
Silver works on werewolves.
Oh, so it's still the kind of standard old.
There are myths and misconceptions.
Mm-hmm.
So you may think that staking a vampire kills them. It doesn't.
Okay.
It actually just paralyzes the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to kill a werewolf or a vampire is to burn them, cut their head off, or just do a massive amount of damage to their body to where they can't spend enough blood to repair it.
Right.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. They do. And it's called aggravated damage.
Put them in a grinder.
It's aggravated damage.
Right.
It's, you have, 3 different types of damage in that game. You have blunt force damage, which is the weakest.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have, lethal damage, which kills humans. But they can soak it.
Mm-hmm.
They can make a defense roll and reduce the amount of damage they take from a lethal, like you shoot them.
Mm-hmm.
They may not take any damage at all.
Right.
Or aggravated damage, just like burning their fucking body or sticking them in a meat grinder, or, they walk into a fan. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something where they're just getting fucked the hell up, and it's just like it's changing the shape of their fucking body.
Right.
Something that's like.
Can you drown them?
No, they don't breathe.
Well, okay.
Duh. But you can drown a werewolf.
I don't know.
Certain werewolves.
I guess
they're not using certain things.
They could survive in space, maybe. I don't know. There's still extreme.
I haven't ever thought about that, but maybe they could. Their heart doesn't technically beat.
Yeah.
So the vacuum probably it'd probably make their blood boil.
Could you throw them in a volcano? Yeah.
That would definitely fuck them up. Vampires have a massive fear of fire and have to make checks every round they see fire.
Yeah.
Or a certain amount of fire.
Mm-hmm.
So there's different clans of vampires. So think of every vampire movie you've ever seen.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Okay. Bram Stoker's Dracula is a fucking perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Dracula was a Toreador,
mm-hmm.
which means he loved art. And he was a very passionate person. He held on to that portion of his humanity. Mm-hmm. He liked beautiful things. He liked being courteous. He liked doing certain things, in that way. And the power sets for the Toreador clan are all reflective of that.
Mm-hmm.
They value their appearance. They try not to be beastly.
Yeah.
They're still fucking monsters and blood-sucking fucking vampires, but they try not to give that appearance off. They like to be high-cultured and high-classed. They did that back in the Dark Ages, and it advanced into the Masquerade times.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have ones that are like, have you ever seen the movie Nosferatu?
Yeah.
Where he has the long fingers and has pointy ears and a big monster grill.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are in there. They're a completely different clan.
Mm-hmm.
And they exist, and they're really fucking strong.
Mm-hmm.
They're guaranteed to have 0 charisma because they look ugly as shit.
And they don't care.
Yeah. Well, they can speak to rats and summon swarms of rats and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
You have wild ones and clanless, and you have ones, any type of vampire that you might think of that you've seen in media. They have a catch-all for that. And these are just the Western clans, not the Eastern clans, where you start talking about shit from Asia.
Mm-hmm.
And, they have a really awesome backstory for how all this happened. You remember Cain and Abel?
Yeah.
Okay. God cursed Cain.
Mm-hmm.
So Cain became a vampire.
Wow.
Yeah. So Cain was the original vampire, and he was a total fucking badass.
Mm-hmm.
And they make this is how vampires distinguish themselves, is how many generations away from Cain they are.
Right.
And In the Dark Ages, I believe you start out as a 9th generation. So you are 8 generations removed from Cain. Mm-hmm. Cain being the first generation. Mm-hmm. And in the modern times, you'd be 12th. Mm-hmm. 11th or 12th.
Did they have a lifespan, or were they immortal? I thought
no, they are immortal if they can hack it.
Right.
Like, there are different scenarios for that, and it's really complicated, but they can be killed. They can be murdered.
Yeah. And
they can fuck up and go feral.
Right.
That's basically what you need to know. They can become something that you couldn't possibly play. Mm-hmm. If they do the wrong set of things for too long. Mm-hmm. If they go around just bloodlusting for too long, they lose all their humanity and they start becoming like a beast. Yeah. Then they are no longer a playable character.
Oh, wow.
But, you could keep a character for 500 years, or you could lose him in a matter of weeks.
You talked a lot about vampires. What about the werewolves? You said
the werewolves are just as fucking in depth.
You said they can die from silver.
Yep, the silver is one of their big things. There's any little media you've fucking seen on it, they can also become human and walk around doing, that's the difference between them and a vampire is they can walk around during the day and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna fucking interact with people. I'm gonna go fucking, go to school. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A vampire's like, well, because of the way they're made, vampires are made, they're not, you turn a vampire, and you get to pick your kin on a vampire. So vampires are more selective. Mm-hmm. Werewolves are born. Yeah. Or made. Mm-hmm. Depending on which clan they came from. Anyway. Every bit of this is, there are wraiths that exist in this world that inhabit bodies and become specters and shit like that. Every bit of supernatural thing just to pretend it was true. And it's in White Wolf.
Wow. You got any good White Wolf stories?
I got plenty of them. I've kind of explained the premise of how all these clans and stuff work and stuff like that. Well, we played normal humans. Okay. And we went on like little bullshit adventures trying to fucking, deal with the supernatural shit at the same time. Well, I had a silver sword. Okay, that I kept on me.
You were a vampire.
I was not. I was a human.
Oh, that's right. You were human. Sorry.
Straight up mortal. No powers. No nothing. And, so we were just fucking rolling through this place. I ended up coming across fucking a clan of fucking werewolves. And, first thing I do is like toss the fucking silver sword away because it's a clan of werewolves. You're dead. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I just don't want to even present a threat. And, we wandered into this place and we knew there were werewolves nearby. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like, okay, I just wandered into where the werewolves are. It was a place where there were supposedly werewolf attacks and stuff like that. So I went into this village and they said, oh, well, you need to go to this other village. And so we went into this other village and I met, some people there and I kind of asked around. I was like, hey, yeah, we heard some stuff was going on, blah, 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 blah. And my friend, I can't remember what Brandon's character's arc was, but he was trying to figure out some stuff as well. And, Brandon was kind of being a tool. And, like, he was arguing with the townsfolk about something, and I was just like, you know what, let's just chill out here. I'm not trying to, get in a big-ass fucking fight or anything. I'm looking for information about, and I came clean with him about what my purpose was in this village. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, this person went missing. I can't remember the whole story. This person went missing, and we were looking for him here, and we heard they got maybe attacked by a vampire, and so now we're looking or they got attacked by some werewolves, and now we're looking to see if we can find that clan to A, exonerate them from the attack, or B, help me figure out what happened. Mm-hmm. And, the person I was talking to was like, yeah, that's cool. Here, I'll let you, you can talk to my daughter and blah, 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 blah. And me and the daughter started hitting it off. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And she, she ended up having like a little bit of a thing for me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. And so, time passed and none of them, I didn't know it at the time, but none of them were getting close to me. And they were all staying about 10 feet away from me. Uh-huh. They would keep, a walk around me, and everybody in the town the entire time was just kind of eyeballing us and mad dogging us. Mm-hmm. And, so we went out and, we went back to the other town where we had a little room at the inn. We slept there and came back the next night and realized that all this entire town we had been in, that some things happened, and we ended up realizing that this entire town was a town full of werewolves. Ooh. It was an entire clan of fucking werewolves.
Oh, shit.
And we were like, whoa. We have kind of walked into it. Well, it turns out that I made a good enough impression to where they weren't mad at me. And I was like, cause I'm not gonna win. Mm-hmm. I've got no powers. Yeah. And I can't soak lethal. They're gonna do aggravated. Mm-hmm. And, this is gonna be bad. Things happen. We ended up finding the person or finding out what happened, and we ended up having other adventures with these fucking things. Like we went on a boat and fought off fucking wraiths and shit, and all kinds of really cool, crazy stories happened. Mm-hmm. And I ended up forming a relationship with that one werewolf chick. Mm-hmm. And we were fucking all the time. It was great. Over multiple games. It's just like, yep, me and my werewolf girlfriend, blah, 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 blah. Well, we went out on a different adventure, and we didn't take her with us.
Okay.
And I can't remember exactly what these were all just kind of situational things. Like this wasn't like a path to greatness. This was just kind of like episodic, you know. I ended up going into a room with like a mirror or something like that, and I made the mistake of looking into a mirror. Now, unfortunately, when you're dealing with a world full of supernatural creatures, there's a lot of things that just instant fuck humans.
Yeah.
And I wasn't thinking about it, and my character did what he would have done. And he looked into this mirror, and the GM didn't realize what he had put in the game.
Uh-oh.
And he goes, yeah, you looked into the mirror. And he pulls out a book, starts flipping pages, and he's like, oh, man. Oh, no. Oh no. And he's like, dude, your soul is gone. This thing just took your soul.
Oh shit.
It's gonna devour it.
So the werewolf girl that took your soul?
No, it was the mirror.
Oh, the mirror.
Oh,
the mirror.
She wasn't even there.
Okay.
So, word gets back, and we were investigating something to do with vampires. Mm-hmm. We were searching around during the day because that's when it's safe for humans to look for vampires.
Yeah.
And, cause they'd all be asleep. And, we wandered into this fucking little room or whatever, and we were just kind of searching around, seeing if we could find any clues to figure out what was going on, and I noticed this mirror, pulled the fucking sheet off of it, looked into it, and this thing looked at me, and I locked eyes with it, and it took my soul.
Oh, shit.
Yep, and I was like, and he's like, rip, make a new character.
What? Wow.
Yeah, it was that quick.
Wow.
That quick. It was some shit. This shit was made for like immortals to be able to fucking like, you're not supposed to play White Wolf as a normal human.
Right.
Okay. Normal humans are like the sheep of fucking, it's like playing D&D as a commoner.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not a hero at all.
Right.
So, basically, I lost that character in that fucking second.
My God.
Just that one little fuck up where I wasn't thinking.
Little did you know.
Little did I know.
The mirror that you pulled the sheet off of was a uber powerful demonic soul stealing mirror.
That's correct.
Whoops.
Sucks to be you, buddy. So, they found out about it back at the fucking werewolf village, and I had already become like a friend to them. Mm-hmm. They went through and just raped this fucking entire coven of fucking vampires. This entire, like, it was a complex. Imagine, like, Interview with the Vampire. You know how they had that big, like, vampire underground city? Mm-hmm. Imagine a bunch of werewolves going through that and just killing everything. Wow. Everything. Like, from the oldest werewolf to, like, the youngest. Just feral fucking rage straight through that place. At least I got avenged.
Yeah, at least somebody came back.
At least I got avenged. But that was a cool thing for my character, is that he was a human who was a friend of the werewolves, and eventually, they cared enough to give a shit.
I remember this is just I'm sorry I keep keying in on D&D, but memories keep flooding back in. I remember you telling me something. You had told me weeks ago in a D&D conversation that you said, remind me to tell you about Ace.
Oh, shit.
Did you remember, do you remember this
is a completely different type of story.
Okay.
This is a completely different type of story.
Trying to hit some stories across
right.
across the board here, but you said to tell you about Ace.
Shithead GM'd a lot of games.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Shithead loved GMing games, and he'd make his stories overly complex, and he liked using powerful entities in his games.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, he had some friends. He was working at a little movie theater, and he decided, some of these guys were cool enough to hang out with us. I never really thought so, but whatever. So these guys they don't really know how to play D&D, and it was just me, shithead, trying to explain to 2 other people how to play. Mm-hmm. So when 50% of the group doesn't know, like, how the basic mechanics work, it becomes very, tedious. So it took us probably 12 hours from beginning to end to get this whole scenario to take place.
Wow.
Okay. So we got to his house and we started making characters. I shat mine out. I decided to make mine I used a character with a massive level adjustment, but retain the same level as them. Mm-hmm. And I decided to make a band of characters. Okay. And each of them had a playing card name. Okay. And at this time, and you may remember this, but I was playing Suikoden 3.
Oh.
So I made a character named Ace, Joker, Queen, etc. Mm-hmm. And I chose I did stuff I normally don't do, which is using races with level adjustments and all these other things to make my character stupid powerful. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm gonna just rape rules, and this campaign probably isn't going to go on very long because I've got 2 inexperienced people who don't even know if they're going to continue playing. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to make my character uber powerful, and their characters can be just normal starting characters, and I'll try to protect them. Mm-hmm. Well, they decided they didn't want to go out with me. They wanted to be their own little thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, well that got decided during a character creation. I said, okay, that's cool. Well, we operate as a unit. Mm-hmm. So I'm Ace, and this is blah blah blah, and blah 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 blah. And they all had their own little shticks, their own little characters, and I was just scribbling furiously while Shithead was explaining the rules to these 2 guys and how to make characters and walking them through the process. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I say they don't have a lot of D&D experience, but they had probably played 1 or 2 games.
Yeah.
So they knew a little bit, but not enough to do anything. Mm-hmm. And everything proceeded to go wrong.
Okay.
We finally got the characters built and ready, and this is the scenario. Me and my team were trying to infiltrate this fortress to obtain some information and get out. Mm-hmm. Okay. At the same time, we brought along 2 new recruits who were also trying to help us. Mm-hmm. Okay. We were going to split up, and the 2 new recruits went in on one side to cause a diversion, mm-hmm. and we were going to stealth the whole way through. Mm-hmm. Oh. So, right off the bat, they ended up getting in. They went where we were supposed to go, and we ended up being the diversion for them. Mm-hmm. We failed a couple stealth checks. Some shit went bad. We ended up getting all the guards in the entire fucking fortress. There's 100+ guards.
Oh God.
Okay, they're all coming down on us, on 5 people. Mm-hmm. And we get in a room and barricade it, and we're putting our backs to the fucking door while they're pickaxing it on fucking down. Mm-hmm. And shit's going on. We're fucking fighting for our lives. Mm-hmm. Okay. Meanwhile, the diversion team didn't do their job at all. And decided instead to go down into the basement where they couldn't cause a diversion and look around. So, oh man, they decided to go and open up a sarcophagus they found.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, it was a sarcophagus. Now, inside the sarcophagus was a very powerful lich.
Oh, Jesus.
This lich could have soloed my entire high-level, well-built team. I mean, we were not ready for this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy was beyond the scope of power. My team in like 10, 15 levels could stand a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Stand a chance, not win.
Yeah.
But maybe with some good rolls and some bad on his part,
Mm-hmm.
we survive.
Yeah.
So, as my team is fighting its way through the halls and locking itself indoors and losing members slowly as we get whittled down by the hundreds of guards, they open up and revive this fucking lich. And they do it by trying to peel his spellbook out of his hands.
Great. Oh, we could use this.
Now, let me tell you something about a spellbook. Spellbooks are fucking important to wizards.
Yeah.
You get a hold of a wizard's spellbook, you can easily, a starting character, level 1 fucking wizard, you can sell that son of a bitch for fucking like, between 5 and 10,000 GP. That's a lot of goddamn money.
That's a lot of money.
So you can get a lot of money just by killing a level 1 wizard and taking the spellbook and hawking it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This guy is fucking epic. This is like an epic level fucking lich.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a lich that has been like hundreds of years putting the spellbook together.
Yep.
This thing is worth a winning of fucking 3 wishes.
Yeah.
This is a fucking,
Yeah.
like, you don't sell this. This is a priceless artifact.
Mm-hmm.
So he wakes the lich up by trying to pry the spellbook out. And then his first action when the lich goes, "Why are you here?" He swings his sword at the book. He scratches the book. He immediately makes a fucking attack on this guy's spellbook and hits.
Wow.
So the lich is like, "Oh hell no." And he proceeds to time stop and cast fucking shit tons of fucking buffs on himself, disappear, reappear in the middle of the fucking fortress where he's been carried to and awakened, and then meteor swarms everyone in the entire party to death.
Wow. Wow.
The entire fucking fortress was gone. Just a pile of rubble.
Because he too fucking.
He was like, nah. It's like, I will not stand for you trying to destroy my spellbook. He's like, I am pissed.
Yeah.
You woke me up at all, and then you fucking decided to try to kill my book.
Wow.
So yeah, no. So he destroyed, my people died not knowing what killed them. Like, a couple of the people got like, they disappeared into swarms of guards.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they had lived, maybe they didn't, who knew?
Yeah.
But no, the rest of them were all barricaded in a room trying to think of a way out.
Jeez.
When suddenly the building collapsed, September 11th style. they just fucking died. Oh man, you gotta think that's the most horrible way to die, is like the building just to fucking collapse on you.
You're like trying to fight off some guards and
You're
trying
like,
to make some kind of shit happen, and then a fucking meteor crushes everything.
Yeah, it wasn't one meteor. It was
Well,
a swarm
that's what I'm saying.
of giant meteors just landing and impacting like tomahawk missiles on this fucking little wooden, it wasn't wooden, it was stone. It was a stone garrison.
And
Just
then
imagine the whole thing just crumbling
And
into
then that
nothing.
lich ran off to go.
And the lich
to go
probably
take
just went and
over
got
the whole
he was
Western
like,
Hemisphere.
he probably scratched his ass and just walked the fuck out of there. Floated or whatever.
These stories, these stories are why we play games like RPGs.
Yeah.
It's because it's the stories that make it.
And I mean, you'll never get a scenario happen like that where you had like this sense of like powerlessness or whatever. The highs are never higher and the lows are never lower than in a tabletop.
Yep.
Okay, even you can say what you want about a well-crafted actual RPG, even like Chrono Trigger. That's a great game. But I wasn't in complete control of Chrono Trigger. I had an unprecedented amount of control. But I couldn't decide to just be like, okay, well, I think Chrono should start selling tacos. Yeah. On the side and just say fuck it. You can always do other things in an RPG. Like, I've seen characters that had like get rich quick schemes and stuff like that where they, would make fucking little things that didn't take them very much time, and they'd sell them off for massive profit. Or, you know, they were really good at You had one guy that was really good at crafting and one guy that was really diplomatic and good at bartering and praising and stuff like that. And they formed a team and they just make money. You know what I mean? And you're never going to get that. Yeah, I mean, if you needed a high level piece of equipment when you're low leveled, that's the way you do it. You don't have those kind of options.
Nope.
When you're rolling out in any other RPG.
It's good stories, man. That's the reason why I play RPGs predominantly, is for the story. Anytime when I watch like movies like that or freaking play video games that have story-centric things where I can either play the story or even do little stories on my own, it goes across reading books, reading anime, any of that stuff. I like the stories around them. Animation, like anime is good for animation. Like I remember the first, man, I'm trying to go off on my own tangent now.
Let's do it.
I remember the first time that I saw anime in commercials and was like, this is not what I'm used to.
This is not for kids.
Well, not just that.
Japanimation.
Not just that, but just in general, it was like, I'm not used to this. I've never seen anything. The most off animated thing I ever saw was, you remember Liquid Television? And they had Aeon Flux.
Yeah.
So the first time I saw that animation was like, oh, this is a whole...
She'd like always get killed.
This is the weird
like everyone
style
was like
of animation that I've never seen from watching, you know, cartoon shit like Ninja Turtles and Tailspin and what have you. And I saw anime stuff and was like, wow, this is really cool. It's new. It's different.
Yeah. There was a time when anime wasn't really prevalent in the United States.
No. Yeah, they were trying their best to scrape where they would push. Can we get on the Sci-Fi Channel? Can we get on somewhere? People need to see this stuff. Now it's fucking everywhere because everybody knows about it. But there were times where they were like, "Hey, here's a manga commercial for, you know, Ninja Scroll, and here's a commercial for Akira."
Not for kids.
Yeah.
And Dave had to make sure they differentiated that in the fucking, you know, in the advertisements that would come up as like 1-800-1900, blah, 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 blah.
But I watched them for the animation, but God, the stories were just out of this world.
That was the big thing, is that those stories were always really adult.
Do you remember the first anime you ever saw?
The first anime I ever saw?
Yeah, that's a memory puller, huh?
Whoa. Ooh, what's yours?
I think on mine, again, because I used to see commercials all the time on the Sci-Fi Channel. This was back in, 96, 97, 98. I used to see commercials for manga movies, and I used to see the commercials for Akira and whatnot, and how you could buy them, and you could have the movies shipped to you, and etc. I don't think there was an anime called Project Echo. Y'all can look it up and see what it was. That was the first one that I ever saw. I only saw that one time, and I remember the character was a girl, and I think it was desert kind of themed, and that's all I remember. Now the first actual anime where I, you know, sat down and I'm watching an anime right now was Akira. And it was a Japanese...
Akira.
Oh wait. Oh no, I lied.
Uh-oh.
I lied.
You're a fibber.
I got broke in before that.
Ooh.
No, the anime that I saw, Japanese. Now this is why this is where I pulled the Japanese language English dubbed from, because this is what I started with, and I now know the differences. The first one I watched was Ninja Scroll. Oh yeah. Ooh. I saw that uncensored Japanese language English dubbed, and
damn,
that was my cherry breaker. Not, you know, like, let's go watch the Frieza saga, you know, or hey, let's go watch Akira. It may kind of screw with your mind at the end, but here's some cool, weird effects with you know, Tetsuo turning into this weird blob. No, mine was fucking cutting people's heads off and splitting a woman's legs in half and spitting down her, you know, freaking vagina, and a guy with a fucking hornet's nest on his back, and another dude that could get his arm chopped off and then just put it right back on and flex his hand like, yeah, you ain't doing that to me, bitch.
Damn.
But man, that was what kicked off my, like, wow, the anime is fucking bad.
Anime is insane.
Yes.
But yeah, besides the insanity of seeing like characters that you would never even imagine in the United States, you also have stuff like, I think my first anime, believe it or not, as terrible as it sounds, was probably, I think the very first one I ever saw was Sailor Moon.
That's okay.
I feel sad. Feel sad, but I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It wasn't my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, I didn't have enough access to anime because the internet wasn't a big fucking thing back then.
Exactly, yeah.
I couldn't get my parents to buy a fucking Ninja Scroll off the fucking, they had a 100% no buying shit over the phone.
Oh, yeah.
You remember how you used to buy shit over the phone? Like, shit would come on TV and be like, order now and you can get 2 extra copies of blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we didn't do that bullshit.
Yeah.
So, they never bought anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, eventually they did start creeping in on like Adult Swim, stuff like, not even Adult Swim, Toonami.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was really when I first started like seeing it all the time.
Yeah.
I had seen animes one off here, one off there. I watch one, I'll watch a movie here and a movie there, and I'll kind of pick through fucking DVDs. But once not Adult Swim, but fucking Toonami started coming out and you started seeing stuff every day, that's when I started hungering for it, if that's what makes sense. I saw Dragon Ball Z and I saw Gundam and I saw all these other, traditional animes. I was like, wow, man, I should really get into this. And I started looking for it and trying to find it in all the sources I could.
I got really lucky in my high school age when like I said, Ninja Scroll was the first anime I saw, and the guy that let me watch it, he let me borrow it for indefinite because he had it for years, had seen it. So I basically owned it for years on end.
Yeah.
I had that, and I also had Akira. Now, Akira was different for me, though, because my original copy of Akira was English. Maybe, am I saying that wrong? It was English dialogue, Japanese subtitles. Okay, so Ninja Scroll was Japanese dialogue.
It was English dubbed.
Yeah, but Akira was the opposite.
So
that was the only two that I owned. And just the way that my young teenage life was, whatever movies I had, I watched those all the time. I watched Ninja Scroll and Akira probably 30, 40, 50 times individually in my life. I had a couple ones, like there was a Ranma 1/2 movie. I had the second one because a girlfriend of mine had given me that copy. She was actually a very fortunate thing for me because she introduced me. She was the lucky one in life. Like her dad let her watch anything, and she had like a chest or drawer full of fucking VHS anime of all kinds.
Damn.
Like, she introduced me to all kind of anime.
Damn, why didn't you marry this girl? Jesus.
Shit happened. But I had kept I had a small little collection of like maybe 9 or 10 VHS anime that I watched. I watched like Rosian Z and some off-kilter, one-off animes. But when anime started getting out in the world, when it was on Toonami and whatnot, that's when Dragon Ball was a big thing. And I started seeing from the outside, I'm like, oh, you like anime? What do you like? I like Dragon Ball. And I'm like, oh, I've heard about it, but what is it like? And then I started watching it. And the very first Dragon Ball I ever watched was a friend of mine had the whole entire Frieza saga because he recorded it from TV.
Damn.
Yeah, so commercials and all. And he had 9, 10 VHSs full of every episode of the Z saga.
Damn.
But it was all in English because it was on TV.
Yeah.
But still, I was like, oh, this shit's fucking cool. The thing that sucked about it was he had missed around 4 or 5 episodes around, spoiler alert, when Goku turned for the first time. So I'm watching the Frieza saga and I'm seeing all this build up, Goku gets released and Vegeta got damn near killed, or he did get killed, I forget, whatever. And then the next episode, he's going toe to toe with fucking Frieza. Like, bam, Frieza's in his final form and Goku's already a Super Saiyan. I'm like, whoa, oh man. And everybody around me is like, oh man, did you see? It's so cool because he's like, oh, he's powering up and his fucking eyes glow white for a second and they come back and his hair glows gold and goes back. I'm like, no, I didn't see any of that. I went from, hey, I'm Goku, I'm out of the pod, to, let's go, Frieza! I missed all that. But,
damn,
man, that shit was fucking, as a young, impressionable teenage me, Dragon Ball Z was right up my alley.
DBZ was really, it wasn't until later that I began, like, kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people are getting mad now at the Super, but I got over Dragon Ball Z when I realized that its fans were really super rabid.
Yeah.
They are like the most, they are one of the most rabid fan bases you can possibly imagine.
Oh, yeah.
And Goku will never be able to beat Superman.
Man, bruh?
Ever.
We're not gonna throw down on this.
Oh, we're throwing down. Do you think Goku can beat Superman? Is that what you're saying?
Adam.
You're gonna put that on the podcast?
No. Let's make an end of cat statement. Superman would utterly fucking blink Goku out of existence.
Yes. Yes, he would.
Superman would never have a fuck you, Goku. I'm sorry.
I mean, oh man. And I hear it a lot. I hear a lot of people make that argument.
You would have to sit down, which several sources
there is probably an anime character I can think of right now. One Punch Man, Saitama.
Mm-hmm.
He could fight Superman.
Yeah.
Because they have the same shtick.
Yeah.
Which is, oh, that's impossible? Hold my beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You don't understand if you're a casual Superman reader,
mm-hmm.
Okay, well, Superman is all about, truth, justice, the American way.
He's ultra strong. He's got laser eyes.
Yeah, he gets punched sometimes, but when it comes crunch time, Superman's just like, nah, I have no limits. And then he just goes, I will just watch me break physics for a second.
Superman goes God mode.
Yeah.
He goes legit fucking God.
He goes,
mode.
You know what the rules were? No, I don't have those.
There's a fucking golden, like, Superman Prime or whatever that basically was omniscient and he could fucking make another universe.
That was a version where he just decided to sleep in the star for like 10,000 years or some shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't even have to talk about that one. We just need to talk about the base post-crisis fucking Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And he, no chance.
Okay.
None.
Let's have a real chance. You ready?
Yeah.
Goku versus the Hulk. Go.
Goku versus the Hulk. If Goku can manage to knock him out, which he can,
mm-hmm.
but I don't think Goku is that way. The way Goku fights, bloodlusted Goku could do it.
Yeah.
Bloodlusted Goku wins. Bloodlusted Hulk versus normal Goku. Unfortunately, Goku decides, let me just see how strong this motherfucker can actually get.
I'm gonna get up Super Saiyan 3 and just
let me just keep punching him in the nose. And eventually the Hulk
takes the hit.
Eventually the Hulk just grabs him and rips him out. Now here's the thing about Dragon Ball characters that I have come to realize is that when they are not ready for some shit, they are every bit as human as a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
They are not like walking around in their base form taking a shit and a bullet comes through the fucking wall and fucking hits them and just bounces off.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how they do.
Yeah.
That might be the oppression that you got out of Dragon Ball Z, but there's a scene where Goku gets smoked with a rock while he's sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene where Goku gets fucking dusted by some red shirt with a laser rifle while he's in the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan fucking, which is retarded.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So he's fighting Frieza, and like one of Frieza's henchmen just shoots him in the back, fucking devastates his ass.
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of times when base form Goku can get fucking wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that it's not always on. You can go fucking find Superman, and fucking Superman's like asleep, and fucking, he's paralyzed and in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? For whatever reason that he got in that situation.
You can drop another hospital.
You drop a nuke on him, and he's still alive and in the same condition because you didn't do anything because his base form is just that strong. Okay, he doesn't turn off his fucking vulnerability.
Yeah.
Okay. When you realize that, these Dragon Ball characters will run out of juice and then they'll be that. They're paper thin.
Yep.
They're fucking paper thin.
Yep.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible thing. I hate that I have to think about this now. But every time I think about Dragon Ball, I have to think about this debate now. Because it's no longer just, oh yeah, cool, I like that show. I thought it was really cool when Goku did that thing. The show stopped being fun for me when I had to sit here and analyze it to fucking, to make a point about something that I shouldn't have had to go to make a point about.
If you watch Dragon Ball, also as a preference for me, I have never watched any of the Dragon Ball, with the exception of the first 3 movies.
That was like the only time Yamcha was relevant.
If you remember,
he was actually cool back in Dragon Ball.
I believe, and somebody's going to correct me if I'm wrong, I believe there are 13, and I'm talking, I don't know about the new ones. I'm not talking about the ones that were released, a couple years ago with the purple bunny guy. When Dragon Ball was relevant for me and Dragon Ball was done, there were 13 Dragon Ball movies. 3 of them were from the Dragon Ball era, if I'm not mistaken, and the other 10 were from the Z and the GT era. I have only watched the first 3 movies. I've never watched Dragon Ball. I've watched all of GT, the entirety of all the series, 1 time.
Damn.
I've seen the Frieza saga 12, 13 times. I've watched the Cell saga about 4 or 5 times. The Buu saga 3 or 4 times. I've seen the Vegeta saga. I've seen all of the Z sagas repeatedly. If you watch those as just an entertainment thing, if you watch them for what the fuck they were meant to be, just fucking just goofy, cool, superpowered entertainment, it's good. When you start getting nerd on it and really start trying to put numbers to it and start stop. It's not what it's there for. You're gonna see things that don't make sense. You're gonna see people that are knocking other people out and they should not. Just go with it. Because when you don't, you start putting numbers in it, and then you start putting numbers with Superman.
Yeah, and here's the terrible thing is that I played the Dragon Ball which is actually one of the most powerful tabletop characters ever created. I played the Dragon Ball tabletop game. Okay, and I know what is supposedly going on with all these multipliers and bullshit, and let me just tell you that it was always supposed to be bullshit.
Yeah.
Anybody that tries to make sense of it is in for it's gonna loop back and fucking contradict itself at some point.
Let me blow your mind right now, guys and gals. When you're watching Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and GT, do you know the reason why Goku wins? Or why he dies and comes back? He wins not because he's the most powerful or because Gohan's actually secretly more powerful or what. It's because Goku's the fucking hero and they write him to win.
Well, it's not even that. They don't even do that.
Oh, well, just fuck my argument.
Let me just fuck your argument because let me ask it. Let me fuck your statement. Fuck your statement.
Fuck your statement, Michael.
Fuck your statement, Michael.
Oh boy.
Now, let me go back over the history of Dragon Ball Z. Who was the first person he fought in Dragon Ball Z?
You tickling my memory bank.
Okay, let's tickle it because I'm gonna go by point.
Dragon Ball Z. So the very first saga was Raditz, I believe.
Okay, did he win? No, he didn't. He got one shot. The guy took his son, then he went there with a fucking buddy and got fucking suicide attacked to kill him. Okay, so that's two big L's for Goku in Dragon Ball. All right, now let's go to the next saga. Who'd he fight?
Vegeta.
Did he win?
Yes.
No, the fuck he didn't. His paralyzed ass was laying there while Krillin and fucking Gohan and Yajirobe took care of fucking Vegeta. Okay. He basically fought Vegeta and had to have backup come in and cheat Vegeta to keep him from killing him. Yeah, is this starting to make sense now?
Yeah.
Okay. Who'd he fight next?
No, he fought the Ginyu Force?
He fought the Ginyu Force, and then he lost to Captain Ginyu.
Yeah.
Because he's a fucking idiot.
You know, I hear about the new Super series. I hear that
he just keeps taking the L's. They just notice it more now because they're older and they fucking matured a little bit, and they're like, "Why is Goku losing?" Bitch, Goku has always been losing because Goku sucks big dick.
There was a time where Goku at level 1 was fighting Frieza. We're getting so nerdy, and I love it.
Yeah.
he was fighting Frieza, and he had Frieza at dire straits on the ropes.
Oh, yeah?
And he said, I'll let you go, Frieza. That's not him being stupid, Adam. That's showing human compassion that he learned from Earth.
Let me throw this out there. But let's go back to the Now, stop.
Frieza
What happened before that?
And threw two blades at him and going to try to cut him, and Goku turned around all mad, and he was like, that's why, Goku, you're just a fucking compassionate idiot. Then he killed him anyway. But still, he just showed compassion.
Let me throw this out there.
There's been times where he's been fighting Goku, and Goku's like, you know what, here, have this Senzu beam, because I want you to fight at my level just because I want to fight you, bruh. I don't want to beat your ass like a chump. I want to fight you at my level. That's cool. That's not stupid.
This guy's a fucking moron. Okay, let's do this again. Let's keep going with this.
In the
so
time
he's fighting
on Goku.
So now he gets to fucking Frieza.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now here's the controversial part. For one, Frieza is walking the dog on Goku.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, walking the dog on Goku. Goku decides it's Deus Ex Machina time, and the writers have decided they're going to give me a superpower that I didn't previously have and didn't earn.
Mm-hmm.
So, yay, I get to fight Frieza on equal terms now. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, it's part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
He dies.
Yeah, he does.
He gets fucking killed by Frieza, knocked out like a bitch and killed, and then they wish back everybody that Frieza killed on Namek, and suddenly he's back alive again.
Mm-hmm.
Whoop-de fucking shit. Wow, he gets a res mid-battle.
He's the hero. Of course
He's the hero.
He's the best.
He's the hero.
Superman wishes he could be good as
So
Goku.
then we move on to the next saga. And who's he fight?
This would be the Boo Saga, right?
No.
Or no, Cell Saga.
Cell Saga.
Yeah. No, the Android Saga.
Android Saga.
Yeah.
So who's he fight first?
One of the fucking Red Ribbon guys.
What Android 19, the little fucking Chinese looking one. Does he win? Nah, he doesn't, does he? He doesn't win. You starting to think about DBZ a little bit differently now. You starting to be like, man, this motherfucker was getting his shit kicked in the whole show, and this motherfucker's supposed to beat Superman? Fuck no. Fuck no. Superman wins a fight every once in a while. Okay? That's the difference between him and Goku.
But at the end of the day, he gets resurrected. He gets his power.
He gets
back,
resurrected again. That's the difference between him and Superman, is that somebody could come back and resurrect his ass.
Yeah, Superman didn't get killed. He got knocked out.
Yeah.
And he woke up with a vengeance.
He woke up and said, what the fuck have y'all been doing? So, then we move on to the Cell Saga, and he just gives up. Like, yeah, okay, you know what? I'm not going to get killed this time.
I'm going to let y'all fight this one.
Y'all fight. But I'm such an idiot. I'll give you a Senzu bean.
We need Goku. Nah.
But then he gets killed anyway.
Uh-huh.
Because fucking Goku.
I can't believe
Goku dies. Goku gets his ass kicked more than Yamcha does.
Can't believe
Gets his ass humiliated more than Yamcha
talk
does.
about how cool DBZ was, and you're like, fuck Goku.
Well, I've made you think about it in a different light now, haven't I? You look back at it and you're like, man, Goku's taking them L's.
Let's put the...
He was taking more L's than fucking
Let's put a reverse on the whoa your boobs train, okay? Because Goku wasn't my favorite. I'm talking this as a whole, so the audience...
Nobody liked Goku. Everybody likes Vegeta.
What's your...
Oh, yeah. Everybody likes Vegeta because Vegeta's the one that's fucking at least decent.
I'm going to tell you right now, I want to put this out there because I've never told you this one, but there was, and I know somebody's going to quote me because there's an actual fuckimation quote. This is another thing that me and my ex-girlfriend had. We always called it fuckimation because all they did was take anime and fuck it over.
What?
So you were like, I watched Dragon Ball Z, and you got the fuckimation version because they changed when you go...
That wasn't a Funimation thing. That was a...
I know.
You have to get past U.S. censorship for TV.
We just put an umbrella thing on it.
Yeah.
Just to say that's why. When we heard people that watched anime, quote mark, anime only on Cartoon Network, it's like, oh man, you don't know what you're missing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we try to show them these, like, here, take this anime home and watch it. And they give it back. Man, I made it 20 minutes in. They speak Japanese. And it's like, oh, did you watch it? Because it's totally different. Because they would change the fight scenes. They would change death. They would change the dialogue. The characters as a whole would almost change entirely from the way they were. I remember one of the, oh fuck, now I'm in this game quotes. there was a Japanese version of some part in Dragon Ball Z where Vegeta was talking to Frieza, and I know he quotes it. There's an exact quote. There's an actual English, but if another thing about us watching anime back in the day before internet was predominant was that you had 7,000 companies that were just shitting out subtitles for animes. You would get the legit anime, and they would just churn it through a machine and pop out whatever the fuck came out.
It would be really cool because you'd watch a DVD version with the English fucking subtitles and the English voice acting, and they'd be like, it would be like, we need to go over there, and it's like, and then the subtitles would come up, over there, we must go.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
So, everybody that did watch the English version at least got a standard. They all pretty much got the same exact thing. Well, given the very small routes that I could get anime from, I learned the lesson of, hey, don't just buy it from anywhere because you don't know, man. You'll get some anime home and that translation is fucked.
It might be fucking trash.
Because it's literally through a fucking program that just auto-translates. Well, I found a quote. I was watching one of the Dragon Ball Zs, and I think it was in the Frieza saga, where Vegeta was talking. He just got fucking reamed by Frieza. And he was like, I'm just gonna fucking wreck your shit. And Vegeta was like, you can take my power, you can take my status, because he was always Prince of the Saiyans. It's like, you can take my power, you can take my status, and something else. You can even take my will or something.
Or my life.
He said, my life, but you will never take my pride. Now, when he says it that's the way he delivered it. It was a very somber, like, fuck you. But in the cartoon on the Cartoon Network, he was like, you'll never take my pride! And I think he went Super Saiyan again or something.
Totally. Super Saiyan and killed Frieza right there. Because Super Saiyan was totally what he needed.
That quote, not only did the quote resonate with me, but the way he delivered it was different.
That's good.
This is why I always tell people, please do not, I don't know if you're this way, but please do not take me as some fucking anime snob when I say that, yes, if I watch anime, I predominantly prefer to only watch it Japanese language, English subtitles.
Well, I mean,
because
the thing is that standard has changed.
I know, but let me finish my statement. I have had times in my life where I've watched an anime and I've watched the anime repeatedly, like 10, 20 times, and I'm used to it in that Japanese language, and I'll just go try it out in English language and go, oh my God. Prime example. Anybody that's watched Ninja Scroll will know what I'm talking about. At the very, very beginning of Ninja Scroll, in the Japanese version, it shows Jubei walking across a bridge. Spoiler for, oh boy, first 2 minutes of Ninja Scroll? He's walking across a bridge. He's got
bridge collapses, he dies.
He's got a sword slung over his shoulder, and in the other hand, he's eating a rice ball. And he's just walking across. It's very cool, very set up, very old Japanese and everything. He's walking, and then a fucking spear comes up through the bottom, and it splits his hat in half. Now, in the Japanese version, and of course the spear goes back down, Jubei just takes another chomp of the rice ball and moves on. The two dudes jump out and like, hey, we heard you took that sword or some shit like that. In the English version,
he fucks him.
Completely fucking different. It shows him walking across a bridge, and I think he might have even been humming, like, or whistling or some shit. And he bites the thing, and the spear comes up, and he does take a chomp again. But when the spear goes back down, he goes, oh man, that was my favorite hat. Adam, I fucking turned that movie off. I ejected that VHS or DVD, and I said, fuck no. Because this is the problem. Back in the day, I'm saying back in the day because you always tell me that it's different now. I get that. But back in the day.
Some of it's different.
Back in the day, when anime went from Japan to America, they were trying their absolute best to try to tailor to everybody they can. And they could not get their head around the idea of what these characters were. That is a prime example of the problem. Jubei was quiet. He spoke when he had to, but he was very direct. He was very like, I'm just gonna get it done. Ho-hum. It's no big deal to me. And he fucking tears ass and gets shit done. Yeah. He don't, hoo-ha-ya, oh man, oh, my arm hurts really bad. He was quiet and methodical and just kind of very blasé at times. watched the English version, which in the future I did watch all the way through.
Yeah.
To give more solidarity to it, they changed his whole character. He's almost the equivalent of Spike Spiegel. He's very like, haha, like I make jokes and quips now and again. That's not who that character is. And he wasn't the only person in the American anime that got that coverage.
Yeah.
All the other characters had a whole different feel and attitude. And that's why I watched it back then like that.
That's fine. And I understand getting burned by that. Nowadays, you can easily, if you get to any subscription anime service or anything like that, like Crunchyroll or even Funimation, you can opt to have the original Japanese shit on there. But if you compare them, they're not that much different.
Yeah.
And they definitely didn't do any, because Anime Today, say, what's the one that gets censored today? High School DxD. Have you ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. It's good. It's about titties. It's a show about titties. It's a titty anime. You know what I'm talking about when I say titty anime.
Now, is that the one where there's a scene where there's a sniper going on and the girl rests the sniper gun on top of the other girl's boobs and then shoots, and then it shows a girl doing a backflip and the bullet in slow motion flies
this is about
under one boob and over the other?
That would be totally awesome. I have to see that for research purposes.
It's just a scene I remember. I've never seen it.
I need to research that.
Titty dodging sniper bullets.
Titty. That's what I'm gonna type. So, man, I completely forgot what I was thinking about now. But no, you watch this version come up and it was censored the very first time I saw it, and I was like, what the fuck? And so I put it on the Japanese version. And it was censored too.
Yeah.
And I was like, ugh. Turns out they censored it when the show came on in Japan. And you have to wait for the DVD release before they can put the uncensored version up there. Now, as soon as the DVD release came out, they redubbed it and put it out.
Yeah.
But, they give it to you straight. Yeah. A lot of streaming services, like a couple of hours after it comes on in Japan, it's on the streaming service.
Oh yeah, it's the anime machine.
They don't have time to make a bunch of alterations to it.
Let me qualify some more so people know where I'm coming from. Now, Adam still watches anime today.
Yes,
he has subscriptions. He's more well versed today because you think we abuse our fucking bitches. Isn't that what you were saying? The last anime series that I watched and was really kind of the end cap for me. Now, I get off 7 tangents in my mind. I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
Bleach was the last series that I watched.
Yeah.
And after that, I stopped watching, not because, man, gaming started taking over more and more and more. But it went as grown adults who have jobs and wives and kids and lives.
Yeah.
We are blessed and cursed with too much shit we want to do and no fucking time.
Yup.
It is very hard. What a first world fucking nation I live in, and a spoiled person I am. I do not have enough time, and I do not manage my time enough to have watched, 4 anime series, 2, 3. I could watch 2 or 3 episodes of an anime in a day and then spend another hour or two just playing games. But predominantly, I'm at home playing games.
Mm-hmm.
Bleach was the tail end for me, and then I stopped watching. I stopped hardcore watching. I've got a shit ton backlog that I could watch. It's just the time is the thing for me. I was twigged to Bleach because it was, hey, you like Dragon Ball? Yeah, I watch Dragon Ball Z a lot. Okay, well, fuck Dragon Ball. Here's something different. Try Bleach. And they said, you need to make it through about the first 3 episodes. And after that, you're on your fucking own. It's great. And I'm like, okay, the first 2 or 3 episodes of Bleach was like, and then it fucking went.
Yeah.
And I followed it. Now, this was, man, I don't even know, 2015, 16. I had a friend that he loaned me, what he told me, I was so in the dark on this. He loaned me 285 episodes. It was like, man, go for it. Didn't even tell me about the filler. I didn't even know about filler. I mean, I knew what filler was, but I didn't know how predominant, like, they have damn near a fucking season of filler because it wasn't even a manga. They just made another season. So I watched. I mean, I had a fucking notepad and I watched these 4 episodes today. Cool. I need to go. The next day I checked off these 6. I watched 6 more. Made it all the way through. Made all these arcs in Bleach.
Yep.
Round about 275, 80, I started thinking, man, there are a lot of loose ends in this anime. There is no fucking way they're about to wrap this shit up in 10 and then more so 5 episodes. Around 280-ish or so, I started doing some research. Oh, hey, joke's on me. The fucking series is not even over yet.
Nope.
The manga in Japan was not finished writing, and also the anime itself that was being translated from the manga was not finished. I said, oh, fuck no. I've just made it 285 damn episodes into this anime. And I personally, we are blessed again in this age where we have like Netflix and whatnot where you can just binge an entire fucking series. Unless you watch stuff that is sequential.
Anime used to be something you could get in doses. Like you buy a box set.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, well, it'll be a couple more months before I can buy another box set.
This goes to like that you can watch people that watch like The Walking Dead. When The Walking Dead when the new season's up, they gotta watch an episode, and then the next week or two they get another episode. I fucking hate doing that. I don't watch shit when it's
until the whole damn thing's out.
You tell me when it's completely done, and I will start watching it all. So that was my idea. I was gonna wait until Bleach was finished and finish it up, and I just kind of panted out and didn't.
That is not what happened.
Yeah, it's not what happened at all.
Bleach is over, and they just fucking dropped it.
See, by now, I think Bleach finally wrapped up about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
It wrapped up, and you wouldn't be happy with it.
I need to go back and fit it. But see, now I have been so long away from watching it, I've went and did research. I've since got my own copies of Bleach, and I've
You've edited it?
I've
to make it into your own story.
Deleted out all the filler episodes, and it takes it from like 360 down to like 240 or something. I don't know.
That's more palatable.
That's still me. I want to go back all the way from the beginning.
I mean, you can go back and watch all of One Piece if you want.
I could. There's One Piece. There's a shit ton of series that I need to get into.
One Piece will destroy you. One Piece, you can't start One Piece now. You can't do it.
I like them all, but man, I think I need to get
there
back
are
in more like
600-700 episodes of One Piece.
I know.
I'm just throwing it out there, man. It'd be over with for you.
But you don't always have to watch the large hundreds of episodes animes there. And you and I know this well.
Let me tell you a couple of animes that you do need to watch. Okay. 2 separate animes that are connected to each other.
And the audience.
Okay. If you watch another anime, you need to watch, and these won't finish. They're just these animes were created they wrap up in their own way.
Okay.
But they are basically as a lot of animes are created, they were an advertisement for the manga.
Okay.
There are two animes that are both about 40 episodes long and a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially it's called A Certain Magical Index and A Certain Scientific Railgun.
Okay.
You have this city where a duality exists between science and magic, okay? And neither side knows about the other.
Oh.
So, you have, the people in this city, city is like 20 years ahead of technology from the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's, oh man, I can't remember the name of the city. But, the city is way ahead in technology. And it's got like little robots go around clean the streets and stuff like that. And, you have these people inside the cities. And they basically are ranked from 0 to 5. 0 meaning having no power, and level 5 being, basically max the fuck out on power. Mm-hmm. There is a level 6, it's theoretical.
Yeah.
So you have the number 3, rank 5 Esper in the city, is this chick, and her name is Railgun. Okay. She is the protagonist of one of these animes.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side, you have this guy who's just like a normal dude. He's a level 0. He has no power whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And, he runs around doing his fucking, his day-to-day shit, and every once in a while he'll run into Railgun. And, he ends up running into this nun-looking chick, and her name is Index. And he's like, okay, well, I'll help feed you and blah, blah, blah. She tells him that, you know, he knows that she knows magic. And he goes, that's bullshit. Because, you know, he's like, you know, he's living in a world where science is showing that it can replace magic.
Yeah.
And, so he's like, that's bullshit. And she goes, well, no, it's not. It's totally fucking magic. I have magic. And she is, and he goes, well, then, you know, my right hand destroys magic, or destroys every fucking thing that it touches for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. So if you had magic, then this would destroy it. And she goes, oh yeah, well try it. He fucking touches her fucking little, her stuff, and she's like, see, this is in the robe of invulnerability or whatever. Mm-hmm. He fucking just taps her on the fucking shoulder. He goes, boom, and explodes. And so, like, they don't show anything, but he like turns around and fucking, for the rest of the series, her shit's all like pinned together with safety pins. And, so he gets into a fight with Railgun because, I guess he's sitting at a bus stop or something like that.
This isn't a spoiler, is it?
For the first episodes.
Okay.
And not for Railgun.
Yeah.
So the Railgun and him are standing there, and they don't know each other. Mm-hmm. And he's standing there, with her, and like some guys are like walking up to her and hitting on her and shit. He doesn't know that she's like the number 3 fucking ranked level 5 Esper in the damn city or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, he's like, well, you know, you do what you do. And, you know, he sees this girl basically standing in a corner with a bunch of guys like, over her, like, hey, let me get a date. Mm-hmm. He walks up like, hey, you know, he kind of grabs her and he's like, hey, there you are. Let's get out of here. Mm-hmm. You know, and she's like, what? He's like, yeah, let's go. I was waiting for you. He's just
trying to play the hero.
He's trying to play the hero. And fucking, she's like, oh, hell no.
I don't need you.
And she goes, and, you know, she just basically unleashes a giant electrical field. It like wipes out everybody in the nearby area.
Oh God.
And he's standing there like his shit blocked it. And he's like, and she's like, what? Why are you still up?
He's like,
and then she just keep, you know, and so they have like this, you know, really cool rivalry, you know, that goes on. And, the two shows run concurrently. Mm-hmm. It's not one for one an episode. Like the first 10 episodes of Index encompasses the entirety of Railgun. Oh. So 40 episodes of Railgun gets you to episode 10 of Index.
You said it right, level 10.
No, episode 10 of Railgun.
I know.
So you're looking at it and you're like, wow, look at all this shit going down. Mm-hmm. You get to see all kinds of cool stuff about both sides. And neither side really knows. The people who know about the science stuff don't know about the magic stuff. And the people who know about the magic stuff don't really understand the science stuff. Mm-hmm. If it makes sense.
Sounds
and
cool.
It's really, really cool. It's a very good anime. The animation is fucking on point. The concept is on point. Mm-hmm. And I think you really enjoy it.
All right.
I think that would be a good one for you. It came out a while back. So
That's fine.
It should be out.
You know what I want to do instead of talking about this bullshit anime you're telling me about?
Fuck you.
The incoming spoilers for a fuck ton of anime. Names to be
Oh God.
Let's give some little off-cuff reviews about some anime.
Okay.
I'm just gonna throw out some names. We're gonna do a few of them. Mm-hmm. We'll run through them. So I guess that you did see. I guess we could just start with Akira. I guess you've seen Akira, yeah?
Yeah.
What's your take on it? You like it? Hate it? What's up?
It's a floating thing in a tank. Spoilers!
I liked Akira, and I will totally admit that when I first saw this anime, I did not understand completely everything toward the end, the whole metaphysical shit it was going towards. Mm-hmm. But by God, the bike scenes in it, Tetsuo getting more powerful throughout the anime, and fucking, it's your best friend. Tetsuo was kind of the loser in the group, but he looked up to Kaneda, and Kaneda was like, "You're still my bro, man. I love you, man. You're cool, dude." And they just that fight back and forth.
Yep.
It was good. I liked it.
I started making out a little bit.
No.
Little baby, giant baby.
Ninja Scroll. Oh God.
Ninja Scroll was good.
Ninja Scroll.
The Snake Lady.
So good. I loved all the enemy.
The enemies.
Could you imagine if Kojima made a Ninja Scroll game?
I'm pretty sure he did.
He did.
Pretty
It's
sure
called Metal Gear Solid.
I'm pretty sure it's called Metal Gear Solid.
You got one enemy whose skin turns to stone. You got another one who's got
controls of bees.
He's got a fucking hornet's nest on his back. You've got one that, now this is one I love. You got one that's blind. Jubei should be dead. Jubei would have lost the fight against the blind guy because the blind guy outsworded him big time.
Yep.
But what was her name? Kagero.
Yeah.
Put her fucking little dagger into a random bamboo shoot. And just so happened when the blind guy was about to land the blow, he fucking hit the dagger and Jubei won. I was like, yeah, if that didn't happen, you'd be dead.
Yup.
You had a guy that could, the girl that had the snake skin, she could shed her skin.
Yup.
You had the guy that could ignite things, so he put...
There were a shit ton of people in that anime.
My favorite, the one that did not get enough play, this shows my dark fucking edginess, was the guy that was in the... he could teleport through shadows. Mm-hmm. And his weapon was that fucking claw.
Yeah. You know what else was a good anime about samurai?
Gemma alone was badass because he could fucking regenerate.
You ever watch Samurai Champloo?
Samurai Champloo, yes. Yes. I love those fight scenes. I love them.
My favorite one was, what was the one where they, he had the guy that kept, like, challenging him. Mm-hmm. You remember that guy?
I've only seen Samurai Champloo one time, and this is probably a decade ago, but...
Oh, man. Well, there were a couple of really good ones in there. You had the multiple fights between the main characters that were, that went down.
Yeah, I'm the straight sword. I learned the fucking style, but I'm the unorthodox. I've mixed sword play and capoeira, and it's so good.
If you like that anime... A game you should play, is Way of the Samurai.
Adam, you think this is a fucking video game podcast?
Look here. Look.
Way of the Samurai, huh?
Way of the Samurai. Mm-hmm. Alright, this game is fucking wacky as shit. Okay. And it's dead serious as shit, depending on how you play it. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna talk about Way of the Samurai 3 and 4. Okay, if you play these games, you can do all kind of... First of all, you get to make your own little character, dude.
Okay.
So you get to make him look however you want, like all that kind of stuff. But as you begin to play through the game, there's like multiple endings, depending on how you go about your tasks. The same events will occur at the same times, regardless of what you do. Mm-hmm. You can be part of it, or you can not be part of it, however you want to be. Mm-hmm. So you can like become a bandit. And go around doing bandit shit, with your bandit bros. Mm-hmm. Or you can, like, romance the bandit chick and then, like, go on, like, a suicide attack against the emperor or some shit because you, like, fucked her dad or some shit.
Oh, shit.
Each one of these little characters, there are a bunch of named characters and they each have little stories. Mm-hmm. But you can decide how you want to handle all these little situations. Mm-hmm. And you play through the game, and as you play through the game, you earn unlocks. And some of them are serious unlocks, like you can get like extra stuff for your characters and stuff like that, and unlock game modes and stuff like that. Some of them are retarded unlocks, like you can get one of those. You can get like cardboard armor. Mm-hmm. And just you're going around doing all these super serious cutscenes with cardboard armor. And like a rusty sword, or like a stick, and you're unlocking all these different techniques and stuff like that and going through the game. And, it's the same concept when you go through the entire story over and over and over again. There's a true ending where you do everything right. Mm-hmm. You're never going to get that on your first playthrough because you wouldn't believe the amount of shit that you have to go through. Mm-hmm. But just little things here and there, like, and it's all like super typical Japanese stuff. They have, one of these guys, they have a guy called the Samurai Killer that pops out at night, and you hear about him, and you're like, what the hell? So you're running around at night, and this dude pops out, and you can't see his face, and he's like, prepare to die, samurai. And you're like, oh shit. Mm-hmm. You know, and you're fighting these guys, and the first couple times he's gonna kick your ass, you know, or, it also had kind of a Mass Effect style interrupt.
Okay.
So you're in the middle of conversing with this guy, and he's like, hey man, what's going on? And you're just like, shing, and it shows you pull out your sword, and he's like, whoa, dude, nah. Or he's like, all right, let's throw down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get in like the tournament for fucking, you know, to join this guy's army. He's like, oh, well, the ones that live, I guess y'all can join me in the tournament. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, all right then. And you just kill your way through everybody, and he's like, cool, you get to meet the Emperor. Swing! You pull out your fucking, he's like, you're dead drawing me, dead. And you just keep going through and seeing how this path takes you. You know, so you get to experiment around. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool game. And and just like I said, it could be as serious or as wacky as you want it to be.
Now, you trailered to this because of Samurai Champloo. You said there was a fight between some guy that kept challenging him. Can you give the details and you tell the story?
Oh man, let's see. It's been a little while since I watched it, but there's a couple of people that, you know, he keeps fighting to a standstill, you know, and he's a.
Are we talking about? I don't remember their names.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm having trouble with. I'm like, oh man.
So there's the main character,
the Spike Spiegel dude. Oh, that's what I'm gonna call him.
The Unorthodox guy.
The Unorthodox guy. Yeah. He's sitting there.
Some guy right now is like,
yeah, you motherfuckers. You can't. Oh my god. He's just nerd raging the fuck out.
Blue.
His name is Billy Bob.
Billy Bob. The Unorthodox Samurai.
So Billy Bob, the Unorthodox Samurai, is he keeps running into this guy, and he keeps fighting him to a standstill. Mm-hmm. You know, and basically the guy just keeps fighting him over and over and over again until he finally beats him. Mm-hmm. You know, and the whole idea was that like he couldn't understand why this guy was like getting the edge on him.
Yeah.
Every time. I just thought it was really fun. Yeah. I thought they had some of the most interesting actual ways of fighting. But up until the very end of that show, you know, when everybody's just in shit's position and they're just dog fighting it out, it's, you know, the show strikes a really good balance between serious and not serious.
Yeah.
Thought it was one of the best.
Speaking of a serious one that's got, and there's more we're going to talk about, but man, this one just coming to mind, and I know you've seen this one because I gave this to you as a birthday present one. Oh no, it was a Christmas present, I think you wanted.
Oh.
You remember Sword of the Stranger?
Sword of the Stranger. Touching the stranger's sword.
That, I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, up on the level of Ninja Scroll and even Spriggan and whatnot, if you want an out of the blue anime that you haven't seen that's going to blow your mind, check that out. That has some of the best choreographed sword fighting scenes I have seen. Not only that twigged me this anime. It's the story is very generic. You know, you got a boy that's running from something, and this guy, he stumbles upon this guy, and this guy over time decides he'll protect him. Mm-hmm. The antagonist of that story was my favorite because this whole time he's with this emperor, and the emperor's trying to do this fucking bullshit blood ritual that's supposed to, if he sacrifices a village of people or whatever, it's gonna make him immortal. And he's got this fucking, I believe he was a Russian? No, he was a Chinese. He was Chinese, but he was blonde haired. He was very weird. They didn't know how to handle him. And he was fucking bad ass. He has this damn near unstoppable warrior weapon at his side. And the warrior weapon guy's like, yeah, I'll go with you. I'll help you track down this boy, and I'll help you get this shit together, sure. And he's just fucking tearing ass through everything. And I hope nobody's spoilers. We said spoilers before this anime talk. At the end, the emperor's like, all right, it's time to get this shit done. It's time that you're gonna help me, right? You're gonna do this thing. And the guy's like, no, I'm not. And he's like, what? You're supposed to help me. I'm trying to get the power and I'm trying to be an emperor. He's like, you're old. You need to die. I'm not with you to do this fucking bullshit. I'm not with you to help you gain power or do this big political fucking bullshit. Fuck your life. I have found somebody who is the stranger, who is a powerful swordsman, and I'm going to fight him, and I'm going to kill him, because that is what I live for. I love characters that I fight because I just want to fucking fight.
Yep.
And he had a 10-15 minute fight at the end of the anime. Fucking gorgeous, beautiful, well worth anybody to watch it.
While you were saying that, I came, there's another anime out there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the full title, but I know part of it is Grimgar.
Mm.
It has some fucking beautiful animation on it.
Mm.
And a story that is, I'm waiting for the next season to come out. Hopefully another season does come out. It's right now it's just one of those 12 episodes and off kind of anime.
Yeah.
But right now I'm looking at it like, wow, this is some fucking serious shit.
Can you
want me to spoil? You want me to spoil a little bit?
this? Can you tell me what I'd be getting into without spoiling it, or is it kind of hard to do that?
It's kind of hard to do that. But it's kind of like
give me this. Is it like action oriented, like swords?
It's action oriented,
guns, lasers, mechs.
It's party based.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine like if Sword Art Online was parties.
Okay.
But it wasn't explicitly said that these people damn.
Well, what I'm getting at is it action centered?
You have
is
like
it story centered where like high school?
You have a rogue. You have like a death knight. You have like a healer.
Ooh.
You have like a warrior kind of type. And,
I'm liking this.
And they go through and they form a little company and they're trying to carve their little space out in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And shit happens.
What'd you say? I'm gonna have to look this up. This sounds interesting.
I believe it's something fantasy Grimgar.
Okay, I'll check it out.
And
check it out.
It is, wow. It is a fucking immaculate fucking show. The art, the fight scenes, the characters are pretty good because the characters aren't what you thought they'd be.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have certain characters that are like, I'm a dick, and you're like, okay, well, he's an asshole. Fuck him.
Yeah.
And he turns out to not quite be such an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find like the guy that's like, he's super cool. And that's his buddy. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, this guy's gonna have to like pull everybody together because all this shit fucking is going down. And like, this guy's like the reluctant leader type, and stuff like that. Super cool. Super cool.
Check it out. Another good anime we've probably seen. I'm pretty sure you've seen. What about Trigun? Oh, I know that's one of your favorites.
Trigun, yeah. Vast Stampede.
I've seen Trigun a few times, all the way through. And my take on it is I liked it. I liked all the set pieces. I liked the story. I liked how fucking war-torn Vash turned out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're saying spoilers again because
fucking
almost
alien.
Every anime we're talking about is going to be spoilers.
He's an alien.
But man, I liked all the fights. I even was kind of that's cool. The first time when you found out he had a gun in his arm, I thought that was cool.
He's a fucking alien.
Yeah. The last two, I'm pretty sure it was last two episodes when him and Knives finally had their fucking head to head.
And they finally fucked.
It went beyond 10. It went through fucking 12 and a half and fucking feather arm flying out and all. It went way too fast. It went way too hard, way too fucking fast.
Yup.
I was not just confused, but more like, wow, this is way fucking out there. To be put the last two episodes, then
Yup. It's another good anime. They had oh man, what was it called? It was called Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes, I like Full Metal Alchemist. Highly overrated though.
Mm-hmm. They are. I'm kind of trying to make sure we hit the main beats.
Oh yeah, that's
the
what I'm
samurai
doing.
fucking shampoos and the fucking the Ninja Scrolls and stuff like that. But at the same time, I want to throw in a couple twists.
Yeah.
And for a really good twist, go with Shiki.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of Shiki?
Mm-mm.
It's about a town full of fucking vampires.
Oh, okay.
So it's a horror anime, and you will not be disappointed. What it does is it builds up like all the fucked up things that are happening to these people and what it turns them into.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they stop being like, at some point you begin being like, whoa, wow, you know, this guy must be the main protector. Oh, he's dead. Oh, this guy must be the main protector. Oh, he's dead. Oh, this guy must be the main protector. Oh, he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And you start looking back and being like, wow, you know, what the townspeople start getting like more and more brutal over time.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you start feeling bad for the vampires. You're like, whoa, whoa. So this show is cool. I think you'll like it.
Sounds like another I need to check out. Okay.
So Shiki and Grimgar. You need to check those two out for sure.
But
if as little things that you may not have seen yet.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to Full Metal Alchemist, I think.
And Index and Railgun.
Yeah. Full Metal Alchemist had a good story. It was fairly well. I just didn't get that.
It had the moments
out of it.
It had its moments. I think it had more moments than Dragon Ball did. Dragon Ball was more of a flashy fucking action kind of fucking snack chips kind of anime.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you're sitting there like, okay, well, it is what it is. But when something like Full Metal Alchemist, spoilers, when that shit happened with that girl and that dog.
Oh yeah.
You're just like, oh.
Yeah.
It just takes your heart, rips it out, throws it on the fucking floor.
Fuck it.
It's just like, wow. You want some more animes like that? I can name a couple of them off. You ever seen Clannad?
I have not.
Canon?
Mm.
Have you ever seen Anohana?
I believe I have that one. I haven't watched it yet.
You need to watch that one.
Okay.
That one's, oh God.
You know, another good series that had good fight scenes in it, and this was a 3-season series, and I liked 1. I fucking loved 2 to death. I did not care for 3. Rurouni Kenshin.
What?
You ever seen it?
Yeah.
All right. The first season was good. It was a damn good builder. It had a good story, had good stories in it and everything. Season 2, just the fact of him and that main antagonist. It was always, I'm gonna get you. You ain't gonna get me. I'm gonna get you. And they had the fucking battle. The build up to and the fight itself was fucking great. Third season, what it was about. It was about fucking feng shui and the continents, the cities had to align. I didn't care for the third season. I'm sorry.
Really?
But I could watch season 1 and season 2 alone
with the movies
and be content.
Did you watch the accompanying
Samurai
movies?
X, I believe.
Yeah.
I think I watched.
There
it
was
one time.
what was it? Betrayal and something else.
Nah, I forget. Somebody out there right now is going, betrayal and dead lust, you fuck.
Yeah, well, it was great. Fucking, it showed the evolution of him from like a young man, and I mean, did you see how he died?
It's been a while, man.
Oh God, I've never seen an anime character go through that kind of a transformation, and you just feel so fucking bad.
Damn.
So fucking bad.
I guess I need to retread that one.
Oh God. Because he starts out as a young man, he's been trained, he's got all this bloodlust and all this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he gains the Batosai moniker and all that. Mm-hmm. And then he goes into his midlife and he's got like all this cool stuff, and you know, he starts trying to do better and use the reverse bladed sword and all this other stuff. And then he gets to the end of his life and he's like dying from this horrible disease.
Like you are right now.
Yes. So he's got, oh man. It's just, you're just like, whoa. Whoa.
Well, if you're talking about a character that goes through a growth and, oh man, goes through some shit, why aren't you talking about Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Fuck you.
What?
And the horse shit wrote in on. Jesus Christ.
What?
You made me think of the end of that show immediately.
What? All right, okay,
I was like,
good.
no good.
Oh.
No good.
Oh, I'm good. I'm glad you brought this up. because please allow me to help anybody out there that ever gets into this series or stopped because of the way the series.
This show is going to hurt you.
This is the thing about.
It's going to hurt you.
Let me explain this to you, okay? I'm not going to spoil the story. Actually, we are because we're talking about spoilers. But as far as you can listen to this part, it's not spoilery. There are 26 canon episodes in Neon Genesis Evangelion, okay? At episode 24, there's some that you can wiki this shit. There's a big story, and I probably got it half wrong. There was some shit, like the company itself went bankrupt or some shit like that happened, and they were basically going to cancel everything. They could not put the proper budget into the last 2 episodes or something.
Mm-hmm.
They shit out those last 2 episodes to just say, hey, we can't even make this anymore, but here's something by. They came back years later and made 2 movies. Those 2 movies are extended versions of what the ending episodes were supposed to be. So my advice to everyone, including you, if you haven't watched them, watch episodes 1 through 24. Stop. Watch the 2 movies. That is the Evangelion series. But by God, that series ends properly if you watch the movies. The 2 shows, that's a lot of word and exposition and weird shit going on because they're just dumping shit on you to try to explain some shit that the movies flesh.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I was thinking of the movies.
No.
I was like, oh.
Well, yeah, that ended properly, though. That ended the way it was supposed to. But
apparently. Oh, God.
Everything. The fucking fights with the angels in that anime, the shit. Everybody you know why Evangelion was so popular? Because everybody related to Shinji. Shinji was quiet, kind of awkward. Didn't get along with people, didn't follow crowds, wanted to be a loner, wanted to do his own thing, just listen to music in his room and chill.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people went for. And he was put in a position where he had to go do shit. And when put to the test, he was just like, I just can't handle it. People related to Shinji. That's why he was so favored. On top of, I don't know, a giant fucking mechs fighting monsters? Hell yeah. Recipe for success.
Evangelion and Xenogears share a lot of the same beats.
Yeah. My favorite memory from Evangelion, besides the fucking second movie having the fights with the White Angels and Asuka. I love Asuka, by the way. That is my waifu.
I bet you did.
That's my waifu.
Bet you did.
I love Asuka.
Millions of children have been never born for her.
Yeah.
Billions.
But there is a scene, now spoilers, somewhere 22, 23, a new boy comes to school, and Shinji has no friends. He's kind of friends with Asuka. He's not really friends with Rei, but wants to be. This new boy comes in and says, hey, Shinji, I like you. Let's be pals. And him and Shinji get real fucking close. And this is something everybody can relate to, where you finally find a friend to where you admit that you're in love with each other because you're friends. Not in a homosexual way, just because, man,
casually having sex.
I have never met a friend like you, and you are my best friend. You're the best ever. Hey, fucking turns out this motherfucker is an angel. And there is a scene where he is in Ava Unit 1, and he has that angel he's holding him, and he's got the thumb of the mech pressed up against his neck. And it sits there. This is so well directed. It just plays the fucking music for a solid, I think, minute and a half or 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. And it's just him looking at him. And you just put yourself in Shinji's mind where he's thinking, I fucking hate you now. I should kill you, but he doesn't want to, and he's just sitting there thinking over in his head until finally he fucking does. He just pops his fucking head off.
Yep.
Love that anime is filled with stuff like that. Another anime that's filled with great fucking scenes that I hope it hit everybody from left field if they've never seen it is Cowboy motherfucking Bebop.
The Bebop?
Let me tell you what.
This thing gets a lot of praise.
Yes.
And I understand why it does. But
don't hurt me. Don't you put that knife away, Adam. Adam, put the knife away.
I think it's a little overrated.
That's it. Podcast is over.
A little overrated.
Podcast is over. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Gmail.com.
Little
Bye.
speak spagel.
That anime is not the best anime of all time. I'm not going to say that because I haven't watched enough to know that there's anything better. But by God, That is an anime that episode through episode can have its own single adventures and can tell you what you need to know in the episodes. And when they decide to, they go, okay, now we're going to tell a little bit about the main arc. We're going to show that Spike actually has a fucking enemy out there. And then we're going to go away from that. The first time when Spike and, what was his name? What was the name of the bad guy?
Ralph.
No, it was not Ralph. Ralph the Spike Killer.
Spike and Ralph.
We have so many new names for all these characters. Oh God.
Spike, Ralph, and Billy Joe, the Unorthodox Samurai.
On behalf of the podcast that me and or Adam can remember this guy's name because it was a big deal that him and this guy were an enemy.
Sephiroth, Spike.
No. When they had the fight for the first time, it was so fucking good. And then he just breaks off. Because I think he gets knocked out or they separate and you're like, okay, well, we're going to get back to that right now. We're just going off some other adventures in the next episode. In the next episode, we're doing another adventure. And there's two things why that is up in my top tier, like top 5 fucking tier. One, there's an episode in that anime series that is completely out of left field. Do you remember the episode where he fought the Mad Pierrot? Remember that one? The fat guy with the top hat and the cane?
Yeah.
That was a fucking psycho guy?
Yeah.
That is my favorite episode. Damn near my favorite episode of any anime of all time.
Damn.
Because Spike is used to getting these situations where he's kind of above people and he can kind of fist fight people and he can pretty much kick their butt, but he's at their level. Maybe he's a little above it. This fucker comes in and shit stomps him.
Yep.
He gets fucking wailed. He gets beat the fuck up and then has to back off. Oh shit, no. And everybody around him's like, man, you need to fucking chill with this one. You need to let it go. And Spike's like, man,
let it go.
You need to stop. And he's like, nah, I'm gonna get healed up.
And he forms an ice castle.
And he fucking fights him again. Oh, it was so, it was so out, it had nothing to do with the main story. It was just, he just fucking randomly finds this dude on the street and the guy's like, hey bitch, boom, fights him. The second thing, spoilers for God Love America, spoils, coming at you. The ending to that series is one of the best endings to any anime series I've ever seen.
Damn.
And it had to end that way, and yes, I am happy that it ended that way. I wasn't upset. I wasn't like, oh, they need to bring him back and have a season 2. No. Spike fights the dude to the fucking death. And you can't see it because it's a fucking podcast, but I got goosebumps now when it shows him walking down the stairs and he looks up at the camera and goes, bang, and just falls over dead. That damn near broke me to tears. That's powerful.
Yep.
And everybody around me that has seen this is like, yeah, man, this is bullshit. They gotta bring Spike back, man. They gotta have, he had to survive. I'm like, no. There are times when you have to let a main character die and let that shit go. There's a reason he's dead. Let it be. Let it be.
Starts playing that horribly sad song.
Yeah, Walk in the Rain. I think. No,
the
that
real
was
folk blues, man.
Was it Walk in the Rain? No, I think Walk in the Rain was the first time it showed him and the main guy having that gunfight. There was no actual gunshots going on. It was just the music, Walk in the Rain. But yeah, and the movie was good too. A good movie. What other good anime series you think of? I know you know a ton more because you've been watching them for about 5 or 6 years now.
As far as like things I would recommend,
sure, because all these that we've talked about so far, they're recommendable.
They're totally recommendable.
Yeah.
But if you want to take a look at it depends on really what you're looking for in an anime. But if you're looking for something fucking hilarious, I would go with the Front Tails.
The Front Tails.
Yep. Oh man. I would go with Dime
Okay,
Dollar.
we're not going with the Front Tails.
We're going with the Front Tails.
Can you give me
that is the
something
most hilarious fucking shit.
Can you recommend
All you need to do is Google Penguin Front Tails, and then it will happen. It will just naturally happen.
Can you recommend me a good anime, set in like the Edo period, samurai type style? Not fucking penguins with front dicks.
Oh, it was so great. Anyway. It's
God.
not a dick, it's a front tail. You're
up.
perverted.
Yeah, I thought that. When you told me about this, no, fuck, I'm spoiling this shit for all of you. I'm saving y'all the trouble. When you told me front tail, I thought that it was like a weird anime cartoon drawing where they took the actual tail of a penguin and like just had it up the front for some reason. No, it's a fucking man in a fucking penguin suit, and that's his pointed dick. You dick.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
You made me look that up, and I was like, my curiosity has me wanting to know. Oh, why am I curious? This is why I should not be curious. Samurai anime, go.
All right, Yona of the Dawn.
Yona of the Dawn. Okay, tell me about it without spoiling it. What's
Without
the premise? Huh?
Yona, and she goes, but I can't not spoil it. You don't want me to spoil it?
No.
Damn it.
I want to be able to watch it.
Okay, well, it's about Yona.
Oh God,
It's
the
about
warp field's
Yona.
been
What the fuck
stabilized,
was
Adam.
that?
I think we have to
What
go.
was that? I think you need to learn to turn your fucking phone off during the podcast, buddy.
Hey man, the warp field got stabilized.
Yeah,
What do you want? I need to know when the warp field's been stabilized.
Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Good job. Really professional.
Hey,
producer.
that's why I'm the producer.
All right.
Don't give a fuck.
So, Yona of the Dawn, no spoilers.
Okay.
It's about Yona. And she goes through some shit.
Okay.
And some of it is really sad.
Mm.
She falls in station in life a long way.
Mm-hmm.
And she has to learn everything from how to survive outside of a really pampered environment to how to fight and kill people.
Oh, okay.
And people start following her, looking like, she goes around, basically she has like one person that's super loyal to her, and then she, over time, gains more loyal followers in an attempt to overthrow someone she shouldn't have to.
That right there, that already sold me. I like it. Sounds good. Well, you know a better anime than that piece of shit
Damn.
is Death Note. We didn't talk about Death Note.
Man, fuck Death Note.
Why? Because it got popular and they're making a movie about it, another movie about it? Is that
Oh,
what it is?
God,
You don't
no.
like it because it's so good?
No, I love Death Note, but
Spoiler for Death
I
Note.
hate that they're making a series about it. I don't know if they're going to give it the proper respect.
The fact that they have William motherfucking Dafoe playing the demon.
That just makes me wonder. That's like a 50-50. That could be like, it's either going to fucking fire off the main guns and be the main thing, or it's going to fucking blow up and kill everyone. Okay, that
is typecasting. By his looks.
It's like,
by
you
his,
got a scary fucking face.
Yeah,
You're going to be the guy.
And you can emote very well like him. So
Jesus Christ.
I liked Death Note. Let me tell you my thing about Death
Can you
Note.
imagine? I can imagine some of the scenes in Death Note where, light turns around and you just see fucking the Shinigami fucking like smiling like, do it with William Dafoe.
Yes,
in
I
a dark
can.
room. Fuck you. That's nightmare fuel.
Here's my thing about Death Note. I loved it, and I love Death Note because it drew me. It had me fucking fiending for the next episode after episode 1. They come in kicking the door down.
Yep.
Finds the Death Note. What's this thing? Oh, I found out in episode 1 that I can kill people with it. At the end of episode 1, I'm gonna be a motherfucking god. I was like, damn, okay. What's episode 2 gonna be like?
Doing God shit. And you're like, no.
So here's the thing about, and again, I've said spoilers, so you guys have been forewarned, I don't know, about 20 times
How
so
come you
far.
get to spoil shit?
We've been spoiling shit.
No, I didn't get to spoil Yona.
Well, but
Dick.
because the things that I've spoiled, you've seen.
Yes.
I'm not spoiling. You're not spoiling it for me. I'm trying not to spoil this for everybody.
You're
but
a
you've seen
cheater.
this. There's a lot of spoiling game going on here. Get on my game level. So throughout the series, he's trying to figure out ways that he can do this shit without being caught. And of course, somebody comes along and says, I can find you, I'm gonna look for you. And then it turns into him not trying to get caught, he's trying to not get caught by this one person. And it's big fucking back and forth game. Halfway through the series, that fucking dude gets outed and he gets killed. Okay, well then somebody else comes in, and you're like, okay, alright, we're back on track now. Now he's trying to outsmart this guy. That's cool. Here's what I don't like about the Death Note series, was the ending. The whole motherfucking series was like going, I've outsmarted you because I was one step ahead of you. And L went, actually, I was one step ahead of you.
No,
wait,
he wasn't.
no, I was one step ahead of you. No, actually, I was one. So the ending is, I was a step ahead of you. Actually, I was a step ahead of you. Oh no! How did you think that? How did you outsmart me? Oh no!
Actually, he got fucked.
But still, he didn't see that coming?
There's no way he could have.
He could have.
Because it wasn't his fault.
He could have. The whole series was him going, I have outsmarted you, I've thought of this, I've had a contingent plan for a contingent plan, but it couldn't have a contingent plan for this. That was not the way that should have ended. I don't know how. Maybe some random person hit him with a fucking bus and killed him. I don't know. But the end being, I fucked you and you didn't know I fucked you. When the whole series was, I've known when you've been trying to fuck me. It completely dropped me in the series. Everything up to then, great. Loved it.
Damn. 2 more shows. One I'm trying to think of the name of. If you have ever seen, what is that fucking show called? Sheena,
Warrior Princess.
Sheena, Warrior Princess. She goes around being all Sheena.
Trying to be like Xena.
No,
Xena's like,
Tokyo Ghoul.
Tokyo Ghoul. I've heard of this. I haven't seen it though.
Character is completely bitch made in the first fucking half.
Okay.
Character becomes total badass in the second fucking season.
Okay.
Good show.
Okay. Is it, what are we talking? Are we talking like modern time, old
Modern
time?
times.
Is it
Modern times. Show about people that eat other people.
Oh, okay.
So,
well.
there you go. There's your premise.
Yeah, you had the hook and it was there, and then you fucking it's just right in my jaw.
It's a modern anime, really good animation, really good everything.
Okay.
You'll like it.
While you're thinking of the other anime, have you seen Attack on Titan?
Yes.
I have not.
What?
I know. Do I need to see this?
Yes, you do.
It is good? Is
Yes.
that good? Okay. I will get to it eventually as well. Hell,
Attack on Titan will mind fuck you a little bit.
Yeah?
It's super straightforward premise, and then you're like, oh.
Yeah, let me correct this statement. I, one time, about 2 or 3 years ago, saw the first episode of Attack on Titan, so I know what it's about.
Oh, okay.
I get the idea that these big things come in and just wreck this town and kill this.
And there's a lot of politics.
I think one eats the kid's mom in front of him or something.
Yeah.
And that's all I know. So
there's a lot of politics. There's a lot of like the people on the very most part of the inside of the wall are super like they're insulated from all the horrible shit that's happening in the world because they're behind 3 walls. The people on the outside wall have to deal with all the fucking shit that's coming in. And so you start to see all these political lines dividing, and like the guards on the inside of the wall don't really know how to fight, as opposed to the people who go outside the wall and kill titans, stuff like that. Okay. So you're gonna see a lot of shit. Right. I still I'm trying to remember the name of this anime, but it ran on for about 90 episodes, and it was really, really good.
Oh, that would be Voltron.
No. This was, I want to say it was...
Somebody right now just spit out their...
What is Voltron?
Oh, now I'm spitting out my drink. You fucking know Voltron?
Totally just jack-laid the Megazord. In the mouth. Let's see.
It must not be a good anime.
It is great. I can picture the whole thing going down. I just can't remember the exact name of it right now. It's
Can you think of characters? Maybe I could Google foo you.
Let's see. The name, if I could remember the main character's name, I could get the whole rest of it. I want to say Yuji, and starts with an SHI.
Oh Lord, this is live. Oh boy, maybe I could look at the
Let's
image.
do it. Let's do it live. Let's do it live. Go down.
You just gotta look and see.
Yeah, let's see if I can
While I'm
find
looking up this anime,
some horrible porn. Oh God. Oh God, what kind of images are these?
I'm just gonna scroll and you let me know if you see it. While I talk about
actually type in Crimson World.
Crimson World. While I'm looking this up for Adam, there's a whole entire series of movies we haven't talked about. Holy crap!
Uh-oh.
Think about it.
There it is. Third one. Third picture.
Third picture. Shakugan no Shana.
Yep. Shakugan no Shana.
Okay. No wonder you probably now. I sympathize of why you didn't remember it.
But he calls her Shauna, and if I could have remembered that, I would have remembered the rest of it. But I was like,
man, it happens, man. That's another thing about me. When people ask me today, just randomly on the street, hey man, pop off some animes you know good. I'm like, all right, well, Evangelion, Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, and they're like, oh, hold on, you don't know about Shinshui Nakuma or Shinsei Nakujus or the Nippon
Fuji Fuzzbusters?
Like,
it's like, what?
Man,
No.
you gotta understand, back when I was around, there was about 50, 70 popular anime. There's like 7,000 now, and most of them are referred to by their original names, so I don't know them. So tell me a little bit about Shakugan no Shana.
Okay. All right. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the first episode.
Okay.
Okay. And this is the hook. All right. People. This guy is walking around and, having his normal fucking high school life. Mm-hmm. Okay. And he goes and he's like, okay, well, this is pretty cool. I'm living my life. And he meets this girl that kind of she seems kind of interested in him.
Okay.
And he's like, okay,
this
cool.
Is going already.
Yeah. So he's like, all right, well.
I know you, and I know the way you just said that, yeah, this is about to go sour.
Oh, it's about to go real sour. And, so she meets this guy, he meets this girl over at like an arcade or something like that. And she's, hanging out with him. And she goes, really, the reason I wanted to, talk to you was because I kind of like your friend. And he has like this nerdy friend with glasses. Mm-hmm. And he just happened to.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, she's just trying to, and he's like, okay, that's cool. He's not a dick.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, okay, cool. I'll let y'all meet up and y'all can, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so he walks outside with the girl and he's going back home and time stops.
Oh, you have my interest, sir.
Time stops and the world becomes a tinge of red.
Okay.
Everybody stopped but him.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly he sees this giant, like, monster thing with, like, a baby's face, and it's going around just grabbing people and eating them.
Dude,
just eating them.
Wait a minute. Time out.
What?
This is Bleach.
Oh, no.
Okay, keep going.
Oh, no, this is worse than Bleach.
Oh, keep going.
This is Bleach with no hope.
Okay.
All right. So, in a very Bleach-esque fashion, what these things are doing are going around consuming their souls.
Mm-hmm.
And Shauna jumps in.
Mm-hmm.
And she fucking goes around, fucks this thing up, kills it. And then she begins replacing all the people that got eaten. And you could see when the people were standing there, they had like giant blazing blue auras.
Mm-hmm.
And she replaces it with a claymation little fucking person with a tiny blue spark inside.
Okay.
And he's walking around like, what's going on? And she's like, I'm replacing them. And he goes, why? He goes, well, because I don't want to fuck up the balance. When these things eat people, if these people were just to suddenly disappear out of the fucking world, it would fuck up the balance of the world. As such, I can put up a torch here. And, these people will slowly fade off. So you see like visions of like children, little child torches, and like they're walking with their mommy and daddy. Mm-hmm. And the torch slowly burns out and just bloop disappears. And the parents are just walking together by themselves. They don't even remember they had a kid.
Aw.
Friends are walking around with their other friends, and then one kid gets bloop, and he's out of existence. As long as it happens gradually over time, it's not shocking to the balance of reality.
Right.
And he's like, that's fucked up. Why would you do this? And she goes, well, I don't really feel the need to explain myself to you because you're a torch too. And he looks down and his shit's fucking like that.
Oh, wow. And this is the first episode?
The first episode.
Oh, wow.
Welcome
Okay.
to the end of your life anime.
Welcome to the end of your life cast.
So, yeah.
Wow.
This show, and it goes on for 90 episodes.
I'm gonna leave this right up there
So,
I can check it out later.
Yep, there are some good stuff in this story, man. I think you will like it.
Okay.
You see this character develop, and I'm not gonna tell you the twist, but the last fucking season of this show is not what you would ever have thought it would have been.
Okay. And it's now, hold on. This is a twist where you're like, oh, fuck yeah, or is it a...
It's a twist like, what? No!
Did you just Mark Wahlberg like you should have done it?
You're like, what?
No!
Why?
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds
you're
good.
You're like, and you think you know which way this anime's heading, and then you just, no, you were wrong. You were wrong.
I like
You were completely fucking wrong.
I like it.
That's not the way this was going.
I'll check it out. Thanks for the recommendation. Another anime thing that we haven't talked about as we go towards wrapping this up, we didn't talk at all about the Miyazaki films. You like them? Fan of them?
You're talking about things like
Princess Mononoke,
Spirited
Howl's
Away,
Moving Castle,
Howl's
Debbie
Moving Castle is
Castle.
fucking weird. All his fucking films are fucking weird. Ponyo, little fish, fucking shit plays on loop when I'm at
Are
home.
you shitting on Miyazaki films right now?
I am not shitting on them. I'm just
Look
saying
me in my eyes
that
and tell me that Princess Mononoke was not a badass, good anime.
my kids watch Howl's Moving Castle and shit like that.
That's understandable.
And they watch Ponyo and
That's
stuff
very
like that.
lighthearted, yeah.
Yeah, they
They
watch.
should not have watched Princess Mononoke.
No, they
That's
did
just
not.
my opinion.
They do not.
Okay.
They
'Cause
do-
shit gets fucked in that one, boy.
Shit gets fucked. But yeah, no, they watch those shows, and because they watch them and leave them on loop, they drive me insane.
Oh, well, that's understandable.
I'm sorry, but I can only handle Ponyo, tiny
Yeah,
little
yeah.
fish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
like,
so long. I can sing that whole song if you like.
Can you sing Spirited Away?
No.
Sare, sa ino yo no
Wow. Wow.
Asare,
Wow.
odaiki. I could sing the fucking rap from Samurai Champloo. Do you remember the rap?
It's like some live, some die.
I'm not gonna do that. This is totally embarrassing.
Some live, some die in the way of the samurai.
Again, that's another reason why Samurai Champloo was so good. It had this
This hip hop vibe
yeah,
to
it
it.
had this randomly modern hip hop would pop in, and you'd be like, "What? They're fucking walking around with like logs on their shoulder, like they're beatboxing." You're like, "You guys."
Oh, you guys.
What about you guys and gals out there? What anime recommendations do you have for us and fellow End of Time cast listeners? We'd love to hear what you're into. This is definitely not a touchy subject. It's not a very surface level one. This is expansive because, as we said, anime has blown up in the past couple decades, and there are a multitude of series.
I want to hear something weird. I want to hear something way off the fucking
I
reservation.
don't know, man. You already brought out fucking.
I want something either like horror based and just like you would never have fucking thought to watch this anime, like Blood,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, just
that's
something fucking. I want something that I can watch and be like, good God.
Yeah. What I'd like you guys to recommend some really good anime with awesome fucking choreographed fight
He wants
scenes.
to see boobies.
He's
told me he loves boobies.
Again, and you'll see this if you have not seen it when you watch Sword of the Stranger. There are really good fights in it. There are lots of good fights in Dragon Ball Z. There are lots of good fights in Bleach. I'm a sucker for
You think Sword of the Stranger was about like
a long animated fight scene. I am all about that.
You think Sword of the Stranger is about like samurai fighting, but it's actually a yaoi form?
No, it's not. Stop
total-
that.
Total Sword of the Stranger.
No, it's not. Tell us about your anime history. Tell us some anime you love to watch. Did you disagree with any of our opinions on these? Do you think?
Well, you're wrong.
Because Goku's the greatest thing alive.
Goku fucking sucks.
No, he's not. Vegeta rules all. We all know that.
Ugh. That's almost as bad.
That's gonna
But
be.
not as
Are
bad.
you seriously gonna shit on Vegeta now?
Oh, man.
Why you tell me on the side, Vegeta was my favorite.
It wasn't on the side. It was on the cast. I said
Okay, well,
everybody
there you go.
likes Vegeta.
Including you.
Not me.
Vegeta's
Because I'm special.
fight me. I will mention that real quick. Talked about this earlier. I love whenever Vegeta finally goes Majin for the first time, and Babidi's like, "I'll give you this power that'll make you way more powerful. You can probably fight Goku." And Vegeta was like, "Oh." He's like, "Yeah, I'll give you, but you gotta fight for me. You gotta be like my henchman." And Vegeta was like, "Okay, go ahead." And he makes him powerful. And Vegeta goes, he does this thing and does that thing. And he's like, "Now, I need you to go over here." And Vegeta was like, "Bye."
And Vegeta's like, okay, and I'll suck your dick too.
And he was like,
And then
"Wait,
that
where
was
you
the
going?"
End of the
And he was
show.
like, "I need you to come do this thing." And he's like, "Yeah, but Goku's over there. I'm gonna go fight Goku now." He's like, "But I gave you the power. I own you. You don't own shit, bitch." And he flies into the Coliseum with all the people there. And he's like, "Fight me, Goku." And Goku's like, "No, I'm not gonna do that." And he fucking blasts an entire fucking half the Coliseum of people. I said, "Fight me, Goku, or else." I love that shit. What items, what things happen in Dragon Ball that you like, or any other anime? We love to hear your anime talk. Love to hear your anime questions. You can find us on Facebook, same place. We also have a Twitter. You can twit at us. Still haven't been twitted. Nobody's twiddled me yet.
Good. Fuck you.
You can also send classic style email, endoftimecast@gmail.com. That's endoftimecast@gmail.com.
Nobody's listening to this shit.
No funny spelling needed, but we do need the emails because we need to hear from you folks. What do you like? What do you hate? Especially about anime.
It's all fun and games.
You're probably not going to hear from us for a little while because we will be planning for our episode 10, which is going to be at the end of this month.
Even though it's technically, this is episode 11.
Yeah, this will be episode 10, but it's a tangent episode. Tangent cast. It's going to be a good episode. Hope you look forward to it. It's probably going to be a really heated debate on this one.
Oh, yes.
This is not going to be one of them, Superman and Goku. This is probably going to divide some people, but it needs to be done.
People need to be divided.
It needs to be talked about. And actually the division itself is actually what we're going to be talking about. So that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you for listening, and we will see you guys soon, or you will hear us. You will hear us soon.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time, I'm Michael.
And I'm Adam.
Good night, everybody.
Bridges.